The following may include subject matters of war, violence, loss, and adult themes, which may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
And welcome to Darkeport, friends, faraway friends, connoisseurs of fantasy, the world over. We are so glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes! Thank you.
Welcome back.
Shout out to you.
We are, there you go.
We did it.
Our first and most important shout out, eh?
You.
A close second, though, would be Eldritch Foundry. Tobias, would you like to expand on the wonders?
Eldritch Foundry. What absolute gems of the industry they are. We are incredibly fortunate to have use of countless figures. They are incredibly detailed. You can do anything you want. You're limited only by your imagination and creativity if you use their very intuitive and helpful tool, which you can check out by clicking the link in the video description of this video right here. Please do so. Let them know that we sent you. Give them some love. We appreciate them so much. Thank you, Eldritch Foundry.
Yeah. Wunderbar.
Thank you. So we have, let's see, I have a couple announcements. What order do I want to do this in? Well, of course, first we have Constructed Chaos, our sister stream, and they stream...
Spread that chaos.
They stream same time as we do, day after, so on Wednesday. They are doing the end of a little mini campaign, a little murder mystery tomorrow. So that'll be fun.
Sounds like a good.
The Who Done It. The Who Done It.
I want to play.
It's a new clue.
You can just go online, watch it.
Get the chaos.
All sorts of weird things to their chat.
You know, that would be fun. That'd be fun to get you.
You can influence
to get you out
their
to the table
findings.
sometime, Tatiana. It's a different vibe, and I think you'd actually have a lot of fun with them. It's good flow, good peeps. All right. Well, we have a bit of housekeeping to go on. We have the last two MVPs. And
MVP.
Wesa, so the episode, so it's still Age of Tezcatli, but the episode before last, you got MVP.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you told me.
Did I tell you?
I think
Oh, is
you
that
did.
the one?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yay again.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
Did I already count that point?
I have 4.
You have 4. You should have a total of 5.
I have 5. So.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you have a total of 5.
Wow.
And
All right.
that, to me, I don't think I counted that, so I
Okay.
think you have 6 now.
Okay.
6 and 3 is what I have currently.
Nice.
So that brings us to last session. Yeah, so well done. Yeah. Last session, this is hard, y'all. So make sure that you go and vote. I do not like breaking these ties. I really don't. Randy and I had a whole discussion about why I don't like breaking these ties. However, there is a tie between Ocatla and Shadowfox.
What are we gonna do?
So because we have already set the precedent that we don't vote on these, that the players don't vote on these at the table. That's what I was hoping, but y'all didn't like the idea, and I understand why. So I'm going to be the bad guy, and this was hard. This was hard, but I think because leadership is hard, and the thing that tipped me over was the discussion that you had with Nilishli, which was like literally everybody's favorite scene. So well done. Yeah, 2 in a row.
Woo! Yay. So
You have four. You have 4 total.
okay.
All right, sorry. You have 4 that you can spend, and you have 7 MVP total right now.
Why can I only spend 4?
Because you use
Because you've used 3.
You've already spent some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I have 4 left.
Remember, I'm keeping track of that grand total because when you hit 10, when you hit 10, you have a character-defining. I don't want to necessarily say event because that makes it sound like it's going to happen instantly, but there is a character-defining force that steps in.
When you get to how many?
10.
Oh.
Only
okay,
3 more
getting
weeks
there.
for Mason.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes. So that's how it goes. Vote for MVP every time, guys. It does matter. Last time we only had 2 people vote this last time, so like, if you know, you can convince one other person to vote your way, that's probably gonna be it.
I wasn't allowed.
No, Donnie. I know. I was mean, but players can't vote.
I know. I voted for Corey.
So yes, you did. Actually, you did.
Unionize, we can probably overthrow our dictator, you know.
This guy called Commodore Rabbit keeps. You know.
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, I know.
All I know is that he definitely likes a beer combo carry.
So we find ourselves. Actually, we need a little
I got a
candle.
lot of candles.
The candle! Shelby, I have to give you MVP last week for that note you hit. It's coming strong.
There's like a singing note. Yeah.
Full breath ready, man.
It's all of that.
Candle too fast.
Things with his heart.
It's that degree in music. You know, you're putting it to good use here at Darkeport.
Right.
So that's what you went to college for, Tobes.
Did?
Looks like we got off on the wrong note.
Music to my ears. All right, so we find ourselves
Pum.
once more 400 years in the past from the current campaign. We have a court of fangs where you've got at least 3 different factions out of 6 people at the table representing various impulses going on at the city. It's a time of existential crisis for the Uralit as their glorious capital, which is much larger than any of the cities that we've seen on screen, so far has been reduced. You've had possibly the most powerful mortal being in the world descend on it and express his wrath repeatedly. You have the nobility who have been crushed, who are cowering inside of their supposedly invulnerable pyramid. Almost all of the priests suffered a similar fate as they attempted to work a great magic, which the Green Doom destroyed before they could finish. Many, but not all of the priestesses also followed suit. Some of them were at various duty stations throughout the city, however. And since I kind of nerfed on it last session, I want to lead up front that your all's water supply is becoming tainted as well. It's not undrinkable yet. And you still can find spots, but there's no way that you're going to be able to carry on with 10,000 plus survivors from just these few spots of water. So that's becoming a ever dwindling resource. You do have cisterns, you do have water skins, you do have barrels, you do have reserves, but those are running dry rapidly. And then in all of this too, there is the matter of farming and hunting, which obviously has not been going on while you've been dealing with this crisis. Again, you have reserves. You are a wealthy and ancient civilization, but those two are going to cede. And finally, Ocatla, as you attempt to grapple with what it actually means to be a leader of a nation, at least a city-state, but really a nation, something that was never apparent to you from the outside was just how much political centrifugal force there was on the Uralit, and how the whole thing could fly apart if you put a foot wrong. Of course, in the natural order of things, you have let's see, what word would they use for themselves? The objective word would be subjugated. You have pacified and civilized half a dozen lesser tribes. Well, you're not a tribe, you're a people. You've pacified and civilized half a dozen tribes, who are, of course, lesser to you. And all of those tribes now have some level of resistance. Some of them can't see a future without the Urlit, so they have not left. But of the 11,000 souls remaining in Koatl, you probably only about half are actually pure Urlit. There's some level, and however your character feels about intermingling, if she would think of it as the natural order of things, or if she would think of it as fraternization with the enemy, that's up to the individual. However, the fact is that you have at least 5,000 people in the city of Two Rivers, of two bloods, sometimes three. In that context, Shadowfox, we have aka Noli, or I should say Noli, aka Shadowfox. You're dealing with the slings and arrows of your people, and I believe you have a journal entry for us.
Indeed.
What you gotta say?
I'm gonna say a bunch. Let's see. Wow. Looky how the tide has turned. I ain't never, in all my years, thought that I'd be blessed enough to actually witness the end of the age of Koatl. And the best part, it didn't even come at the expense of my kin. I ain't know if she had a partner or not, but it sure seems that all the coders being picked off one by one. Her brother, a coxswain, obnoxious woodsman, and of course that overly pompous windbag gazelle. Really happy about that last one. Nah, Ocatla's death makes me practically giddy. All souls, all of them are more than happy to sacrifice me to KO, and sacrifice was so last decade. So, what to do next? I ain't making out of this city alive, but fuck me if I ain't going to go out without taking a few fox-sized bites out of this bloated carcass of a city. I was rather happy at how tractable the gods were, but that's in the past. But now we look to the future, and I'm gonna get what's mine.
All right.
Chilling. Oh boy.
Very different perspective from last week.
Things come due.
I'm gonna pick up. I'll pick up where we left off, and then we're gonna get back to the civilians, the non-chosen who got left at the pyramid. So Nilishli is protectively cradling Ocatla to her, and she looks at him. I'm taking him somewhere safe. Leaf, don't follow me.
Pardon me. Where are you going?
She starts walking.
I'm gonna follow her.
Okay. She says, "This is Ocatla. This is a family matter."
He is our family.
He was created by... I don't know what their relationship is, Dread Mother and Koatl, but he is... I have no family, and now I do, and I will protect him. And she cradles him even closer. He is inert. I will find a way. I will find a way to heal him. But he's vulnerable right now. I need to be alone.
Nilishli. And she just kind of lowers her head a little bit. I understand that your connection is very special. And I trust you to protect him. And yet he is ours. And I cannot imagine you going off alone with him right now, with no one he knows from our city by your side.
What do you suggest? I must try to heal him.
I need to oversee this, or at least Linalli does.
She says, your place is here. Your people need you badly.
He is probably the most important being in our city. So, Linalli, if you are willing to go, this is of utmost priority.
Of course, mistress.
And we're still planning what we're planning for tomorrow.
She looks at you, Linalli does. Mistress, I can go, of course, but depending on how long or how far, there's already very little time.
Nilishli, can you promise me that you are not going to go very far?
It's not far.
Can you promise me that you will, if Linalli needs to leave, that you will allow someone else to take her place?
Who?
Whether it is I or one of the guards, someone needs to be present.
I don't understand why, but yes.
There are things we do here in our culture that you might not understand.
She tries an insight check on you. Make a deception roll. Allie would try to do that.
100%.
Deception?
Yeah. It's a good roll.
25.
Not that good. Okay. You get the sense that as long as you're really on your game, obviously anybody can slip up in a bad moment, but as long as you're really on your game, you think you're just beyond her capacity to see through. And she stares at you for honestly a disrespectful length of time. And then she finally says, very well. I promise. And then she turns around and she will not be stopped. She just starts marching. And Linalli looks at you, turns her back to the construct who's walking, and gives a silent sigh, but doesn't want her to hear, and then turns around and goes, you did not come. You remain at the pyramid. You remained at the pyramid, and you're about to be on scene. Okay, you did come.
I would really briefly just whisper to Linalli, please watch, be aware.
Always.
Are they close enough where I can read lips?
You could have heard that conversation.
Because I thought they walked off and stopped a little bit farther.
She walks some, but you have excellent hearing. Yeah. And any gaps you needed to fill in, you could have read lips. Yeah.
Understood.
Are you trying to follow them? No. Okay. Then Nilishli, the corpse or inert form, you're not sure of Ocatla. Of course, the head of the coterie, the heretofore invincible on a field of battle divine construct of Coatl. So Nilishli's opposite number, but who's in his 80s. So superhumanly powerful, with all those additional decades of development. The two of them go off, and your strong right hand goes off with them. Importantly, because you got to see them, now you saw Nilishli use her ray of desiccation and pain, which was impressive, because that doesn't exist in this time period. But you did see that Linalli is still physically stronger than her, as you saw how much weight both of them could bear.
And is there any other things to notice about him before he goes off, other than he's just idle?
You can make a medicine check if you want to.
Okay. I don't have anything here. Let me see.
Yeah, that's just raw.
Plus 3, so 13?
13. He looks like he's in a deep sleep, in a deep slumber.
Did you still have the headdress on? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that give her at least proficiency in that?
Not unless she was focused on it. So you have to... So I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, that's a good point, though, Randy, because you're not used to this as a player, Tatiana.
I'm not.
Whenever she has a chance to focus, so call it maybe a minute, so 10 combat rounds. If she has 10 combat rounds to be able to focus down on something, you can tap into the headdress and you can have proficiency in any skill that has ever been part of the Urlit culture.
Okay.
If you already have the skill, you get double your proficiency. And Toby will help you with that math if that sounds weird. But that's how you can have things like plus 10 and plus 11 and crap like that. Okay. All right. You can also speak and read any language, but that doesn't really matter right now. So you see the...
So what language?
You see the three of them...
Should I speak?
You see the three of them walk off, and they're going south. So they're going toward the marshes, the swamps, etc. and Nilishli seems pretty certain, like pretty confident when she's moving. There's no hesitation at all about it. It's not like when you were coming to the plaza and she was kind of trying to scope out what was going on and remember what her vision had been.
Okay.
Did you want to do anything else before I move on?
I would be telling the guards, like, we're looking for his weapon, correct? Like
For Daybreak, yeah.
Yeah, we're looking for Daybreak.
Okay.
And any other signs of life lost here in this plaza.
I gotta roll. Actually, go ahead and roll for the guards, just to give me a general investigation roll.
17.
17. Okay. You do find a few more people who were not fortunate enough to get found in the first searches. So you make arrangements for them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Domina!
Aye, what is it?
A man lifts what looks like an oversized makwa, yeah.
Daybreak.
It looks a little different. It looks kind of inert as well, but you recognize the patterns on it. You recognize the size of it, all of that. Of course, with his preternatural strength, he could wield an oversized weapon, but most men couldn't.
Bring it to me.
The man reverently hefts it and then runs over. It's basically like a Makwa greatsword, which doesn't really exist in the Urlit culture, but
a lot of rock.
Does with this, yeah.
She would bow a bit to take it into her hands, and she would try to sense what's going on with it, what has changed about it.
Make an Arcana check, and if you don't have proficiency in it, give yourself proficiency because you do have the time.
Okay,
to pull on the headdress.
You do not have proficiency in it, so you're gonna add. But since you are focusing on the head with the headdress,
yeah, so plus
you're gonna
3.
add plus 3 too.
Okay.
Yep.
14.
Okay. You don't think anything's wrong with this nearly indestructible weapon. Mm-hmm. You think it's just the reason that it seems inert to you is because you've never seen it without its connection to Ocatla.
Okay.
Because remember, he's in his 80s. You're in you're 24, so you've never.
It's always with him.
Yeah, always, constantly with him, or at least on his person. Right. So maybe it doesn't have that. Maybe it doesn't have that slight jade glow to it naturally. Maybe that was some sort of synergy with him. You don't know.
Have I ever come into contact with it before as a priestess in this?
I'm going to say that because you've been adventuring with him since you were 14. Ironically enough, the same age that Linalli is now. I'm going to say that you have at some point. Maybe in battle, it got knocked from his hands and you ran back to it, or maybe more likely in a quieter time, you were just naturally curious as a young priestess, and you examined it, and that's why you think buried deep within the arcane energy, actually the divine energy is still there, but it's just not active right now.
Gotcha. We need to bring this back somewhere safe. And I would ask for some kind of something to wrap it in. Okay, yeah. One of them takes his cloak off and wraps it. Are you going to carry it, Domino, or shall we? I will allow you to, but obviously this is incredibly sacred, important. They the 3 of them bow, 4 of them bow, 2 of them take up, and then 2 of them take up to the sides, 2 of them hold it, and they go back and. Please bring it to my altar. Yes. Okay, well done. Well done. These are all important, guys. Because that weapon could just as easily have been lost in the mists of antiquity, and that's the end of that. Honey. This girl loves artifacts. Yeah.
You never know.
Yes, she does. Okay.
It might have a personality, too.
It
Material good that it does.
It could. It could. And he was
stranger things have happened.
And he just wasn't talking.
Very true.
So while all of that's going on, because that took quite a while, that whole getting to the plaza scene. I wasn't sure if we were going to have time, Corey, but you
I was going to have a brief discussion with him.
You find yourself largely alone. You already made the deception check last session.
Get back
to see if you look like you belong there, and the guards their eyes just kind of pass over you because they saw you with her, and they're not in the habit of questioning Ocatla's associates. And so Tenoch is looking nervous. He was a little nauseated. Remember, you still have that slightly zombified part of your throat, which is like a really raw throat.
It's like hacking and pulling buff.
Yeah, it's like
it's just like kind of cowered against the wall and it's like kind of shaking a little.
You came within like 3-4 combat rounds of becoming a zombie, and it's the idea of that's horrified. You actually. Etzli, go ahead and make a arcane roll, and let me see if you arcana check, and let me see if you twig to one thing about that pouch. Okay, so the exact workings of the pouch are still a mystery to you. You are smart enough to know that you don't know, and that you need somebody who knows what the heck that mechanism was,
right?
Or it can just happen again.
Yeah. Oh, like explode again.
Not that current one,
but a new one.
But you need to understand what this is, and you need to understand like how far does it go, how long does it linger in an area, how many people can it hit, how long can he store it for, because you have a bad feeling that's about to get unleashed en masse at your men.
At some point, if I can grab it once it's like dissipated, again depending on timing.
How long do you wait?
I'm gonna have a conversation with him.
Okay,
first.
all right, go ahead. Okay, so you're there. You have the scene in your head, all the other stuff. Okay, so you're in case our faraway friends didn't see it, you're inside of the shattered pyramid. You're kind of in a shadow. You're kind of in a weird liminal space where you're fairly deep into the pyramid, but you're not into the catacombs yet, which are the only part that really survived. You have maybe 10, 15 feet, depending on exactly how it collapsed, on that side of the pyramid of wall. It should just be exposed, and it should be bright and open, but for some uncanny reason, the light doesn't fully penetrate into the pyramid.
Okay.
It's like dim in here, even though it's broad daylight outside. Okay. So you get Tenoch.
Tenoch, here. Drink some of this water. Fresh. Spit it out. That's good. Good. It'll clear your throat.
Clear my throat. Kind of a dark laughter, kind of hiding the panic.
Keep yourself calm. A man just gave his life for you.
Why?
Zeal just gave his life for you.
Why?
He whispered
me?
to me. He whispered to me and told me, you have knowledge that must remain and be saved and told to the right people.
What? How to construct a poetic?
No. There's something else you know. Something about the situation. Let me try to convince him to
Okay.
get through the process here.
He's in the throes of incipient trauma. He's not in a good spot right now.
I'll let you make a persuade.
Did he already have a conversation with his friend? Was that before the gas or after
before.
the gas? Okay, that was before.
For sure.
The gas has been a gas. Yeah. I'll let you go ahead and make a persuasion check to see how well you can help him focus.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's amenable to what you're saying. It's just trying to get through the haze of panic.
Mm-hmm.
Incipient trauma is a really good way of.
That would be a 21.
Okay, so there is something about this lovely young woman's voice that you kind of follow the thread along, and then you, at least for the moment, I mean, you're sure later on it's not going to be great, but at least for the moment, everything starts to have a fragile clarity to it.
Thank you, Nilishli.
You're welcome. You're an important member of our society.
You've got to be joking.
All craftsmen are, including myself. We provide a great value. There wouldn't be clothes here. There would not be drums or equipment or things that you provide. Music.
Yes, how can you have a ceremony without your near drum bang. Yes, of course. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't understand.
Oh, hey, where's the captain? I think he went down to the Kuman quarters.
I mean, Ysel is the greatest healer of our city, of this region. He's saved lives beyond counting.
He has.
Mine is of no value compared to that.
He told me his last dying breath was you had some wisdom, some knowledge that must be preserved. What do you know that would require a man of his wisdom and his stature to give his life? It must be great.
I wish I could tell you, truly.
What have you seen? What do you know of what happened here? It's gotta be related.
Well, the Green Doom's wrath brought chaos and destruction
Do you know why he came?
to the city.
The Green Doom.
No.
I don't know.
Do you think the lady Ocatla knows, Domine?
Did you just call me? She just call me Lord?
No, I said Lady
Heard the
Ocatla,
Lord.
Domine.
Oh, okay.
I added that on.
The Domini.
Not Domine.
Gotcha. If anyone did, I know that before the dragon struck, she was preparing the defense of the city with Xipilli. He had
I know the brother?
Oh, yeah.
Your brother.
her brother,
Her brother.
my
Yes.
best friend. He had been having visions of a great threat coming from the marshes, from the south. But the Green Doom came from the north. His visions were wrong. And then Lady Ocatla took his head because he was possessed by a demon?
Took his head. Just like that. Didn't try to knock him out. Preserve him.
It is not my place to question the will of the coterie. Or the High Priestess, I suppose.
Now that Etzley has you talking about this, make an investigation roll, which I use as deduction in this campaign.
7.
7, okay. There's something niggling at the back of your mind, but it doesn't float up. Something that's been irritating you for a while, but you haven't been able to put a finger on it.
She says he was possessed, and maybe that's why he thought that the threat was coming from the south. Maybe some evil twisted his mind.
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Oh dear.
Young Lord!
Can I detect any sort of hesitance of saying anything?
Make an insight
Persuasion.
roll. Yeah.
It's a 14 plus no insight.
Yeah.
That'll be 22.
Yeah, this is kind of what you're built for. It's funny because you're like the non-chosen version of Ocatla. So
Secret.
you're pink. Well, you just 14 plus, so they know it's a +8.
I meant that.
You're looking at him, and you kind of have one of these uncanny moments, Corey, honestly, where you kind of know the person better than they know themselves, and this has happened to you for much of your short life. It's always a weird thing when you can crawl into somebody's head better than they understand it themselves. and you feel like there must be pieces that he's groping around for that he doesn't even know are important. And you just heard, so outside you just heard, "Young lord," and you Zolan have come up. This is the first time that you've seen. The pyramid is at the heart of the city, so you've had to walk through horrors to get here. So it's 10 days after the Green Doom irrevocably changed the course of history for the Uralit. There are thousands of people who were crushed under the masonry. He killed a couple hundred, but by far, the bigger body count was when this thing, and you've had the advantage of coming in after the fact, so you're not caught up in the emotion of it yet. I mean, obviously the horror of it, but like you can actually just see it from the outside as you're walking in. And
I know what it was before, but now,
yes,
and I know how different it is.
And it's very clear to you that this thing deliberately went from section to section and sat on them. I mean, and just dive bombed and destroyed them. This did not happen in a torch. This did not happen. This must have taken almost the entire day for it to have gotten to a city of the size of Koyotl and to reduce it like this. You also see evidence both of looting, of course, but more disturbingly, make an Arcana check. So that's raw intelligence, I think, for that character.
Arcana's +2.
Yeah.
So that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Wow.
No exhaustion.
This is great. So you're looking, you look at it and you have seen, your city does, well, actually, you don't know she's dead yet, but it did have a very potent monobender in it. So you've seen a natural fire before, and there are telltale scorch marks and blast patterns.
It's like, this is not natural.
That this thing went through and used some sort of colossal monobending to make the ground, to disrupt the ground and collapse the ground at places, to explode other places. I mean, it really targeted these things for maximum mass destruction.
Like modern damage to a city, but in an ancient world.
But in the ancient world, there's, you've
so you
never
would have seen that.
You've never seen the like of like an artillery shell of a city being
but
shelled.
That's what it would be. Yeah,
that's what it looks like to you. So you're coming in. Yeah, even the strongest attacking army it would take them moons to pull masonry down like this.
Yeah, it would be a waste of their time.
So, not to find a point of it, but the stench in some places is nearly overwhelming, and you are a seasoned warrior. You're one of the very few left of the nobility who actually leads. I mean, like, very few. Almost all of them sit, about 2% of them are worthwhile. The other 98% sit in, and the other 98% are all dead now.
Like Titus would like them.
And you go, so you're picking through, and your panic is just, it's not for yourself. You know that there is a life growing inside of someone, and you must get to her. So you're going through, and finally the guards at the pyramid, and that's maybe the most bizarre place because you grew up in and around this pyramid. You had quarters in this pyramid, and now it's a hunk of rubble. So you see, actually, after Ocatla gave them the dressing down, there may be half a dozen of them outside. Now they're probably like 10 outside. Because they understand what's going to happen to them if they F up again. And one of them sees you. Young lord, thank Koyotl. You've given us the new dawn. And he runs up to you. How touchy-feely is Zolan like?
He's going to be extremely stoked, but then he's also, everyone knows him kind of to be just a wild card. You know, like, so he might just hug you, you know, like, but.
So he does not run up then and throw himself on you, but.
He runs up and I want him to, like, kind of stagger a little bit, and then he'll throw himself on him.
Okay.
It is good to see you too.
Okay. And then he embraces you back. And then just starts, like, kind of shaking. And the guy, he's giving you. He's looking at you and looking through you.
We are in Methklan now, but we will be whole again. Do not worry. We will be fine.
We are.
We are fine. For if not, we'd be dead. And if we are dead, we'll still be together.
Come. That's kind of all he can manage. And then you go. Okay, so about that.
He's holding back so many tears.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like he's like,
We'll be fine.
I will add, since Corey asked specifically for things he wasn't saying, and on
that's true.
on
yeah.
a high enough insight check of a 22, I think you would glean that the way he is talking about Xipilli's death indicates that the connection he felt to that person was more than a friend.
Okay. I hear this.
Yeah, and then you hear this ruckus outside, and you hear a familiar voice.
Tenoch, my betrothed is here, but at the last moment, he saw something at that spot. Do not give up.
Thank you.
Focus. Something there you're not seeing.
I'll try.
And I,
It's Tilly.
my betrothed.
So the two of you see each other.
You are alive. Are you okay? Fine. The baby's okay.
Alright, just to get that out of the way, and that is our clip for the week.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too.
I spit it out. I love you.
I love
Alive.
He looks.
You hurt. I do. I look
Yeah,
at
you
medicine.
examine him.
I do the.
I look at medicine on him. Ooh, pretty good medicine check. That will be a 20 dirty.
Okay. He actually, physically, he looks in peak condition. He looks tanned. He looks well fed. I mean, he's just come back. He was on the
West.
colony.
Pretty
Yeah.
well.
I was too late to be here.
Yes.
We are not meant to be west. We are meant to be here.
I was on my way to see my father. He fell.
How?
I don't know exactly.
Where are the others?
They went to one of the pyramids to find Ocatla. He seemed to have been buried there with...
He's dead.
I don't know.
That seems impossible to you.
This is funny. You are funny sometimes. This is why I love you.
One of his you're gone. One of his siblings of Tezcatli, a version of him but female, arrived prior to this and went with them.
Oh, that's right, because you don't even know Nilishli came to the city.
Who is that?
Her name is Nilishli. She is
She is made of a god.
yes.
These are different times, my love. Where is my family?
Family?
Yeah.
Like, do I know it at all?
No. You look
have to
around.
go and see.
You look around, and you have your stomach drops again.
I was brought here, and Ocatla was present, and I had to serve, of course, Lady Ocatla.
I understand.
And she just left, and
I will make my time to see her, but I must go.
There's a lingering, Miss Olin. There's a lingering acrid stench in the air that isn't any of the herbs. You know all of the smells that should be in
This
this
is not
pyramid.
anything of a medicine. This is not something he's ever seen before. Like he's like knows that there's something.
And there's this fine gray powder that's all over. Like if you've ever seen somebody use a fire extinguisher before,
Yes.
it's not quite that heavy, but it's close, and it's like, and it's more grayish than white. But it's this fine gray powder that's just been scattered all over this area of the pyramid. Obviously, that was from the exploding
there's more.
zombification
my
bag.
love.
But
There's this. They call it Bella. Is that what it's called?
for which one?
The tribal Bella.
Oh, Belai.
Belai. One of the Belai came here and spoke for some lord or leader of theirs.
Rapalai. Here.
Oh yes, they're taking advantage of what happened to the city. It's in ruins, my love.
They always do.
He threw something though that exploded with some green gas and almost killed poor Tenoch here. And
Tenoch's gone.
No, he's
I'm just sitting there, kind of.
Hello, Tenoch. I hear you are almost about to die.
Yes, Lord.
Well, your voice sounds
So
different.
many. And he'll just kind of indicate. He'll just turn to the side so you can see how it's partially zombified on the side of his neck.
That is disgusting. I don't want to see that.
Avoid the gas in the bag. I plan on doing some research on it to figure out what they're doing.
The Belay will pay for this. I am sure.
Well, there's a lot more. Their leader wishes to marry Ocatla.
These Belay are funny.
I'm just telling you what the message was given here. And Ocatla refused, but
Naturally.
there
I can see why.
seems there's going to be a war.
As long as it's a war with men, we can win. I do not want a war with this.
I don't know how many are left, my love.
There is always enough. We are dogs and they are wolves. We protect ours. I am going to see for my family.
I'm going to go see to mine if I can.
You'll see to ours.
Yes, I will see to us, my love.
I love you.
Love you too.
We will be fine. Tenoch, I like to speak to you too. Come with me.
Of course, Domini.
You start walking through the rubble, and you don't need to roll. You know this place.
Yeah.
This is your home.
From any type of field mechanic or anything like that he'd kind of be able to put together to then just to tie around his neck to give any type of soothing, he would try to provide.
Okay.
Just to be clear, I'm thinking
it is gross.
You're going to Watley's tomb.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that was clear.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Corey. So you're going through, and there are at this point they would have had enough time to like prepare salves, etc. So you grab basically off the shelf.
Yeah.
Field hospital.
One of the salves that has like a nice soothing balm on it, tied around his neck.
You weren't ugly before, you are now.
You go to where your quarters are. Those are gone. You go to your mother and father's quarters. They're unrecognizable. And you are very grateful that something told you that this was the time for your sister to go on a little walkabout. So you had your younger sister go with appropriate chaperones, and she's basically, and this is something your lit nobility used to do a lot more, but it basically
Now they're kind of
like a tour of the land.
yeah.
So
Definitely
that she understands the land, you know. So she's out right now, and and you didn't know why, but you just like you got basically this thought wouldn't leave you. It was just bothering you, and so you pushed. You had some fights with your father. Your father wasn't wild about your marriage choices, but it's hard to say no because she's the daughter of an ASCII teodal. So it's possible that this next generation, so she couldn't be chosen, but it's possible that the next generation could be. So you're like, yeah, we're gonna try it. You know,
Zolan's a big fan of love.
we're gonna. And whereas of course your father wanted you to marry within the nobility and just to keep those lines pure. So you're walking through. You don't really have the words to process it, but anyway, you know, you're going through, and you know somewhere underneath these countless tons of rubble, are basically everybody that you know, everybody that you grew up with, they're all dead now.
Yeah, kind of as you say, I'd be like, Tenoch, can I have a moment alone?
He's just been following you by because you bid him to come with you. So yeah.
We will have a conversation in a bit.
Yes, Domini.
Now he's completely alone. He'll look over to like his mother and father. It's kind of like areas that they would be in because of obviously they probably couldn't see.
In your gut, you almost know where they're buried, but it's going to take a moon to excavate this place.
I hate you for leaving me. And now I must do it myself. Again. So Zolan always does. And what they will see will be bad for them. A dragon. A green. For you. Will be the only thing that could kill them. That could take you from me. I will take so much more. I will take so much more.
And then he's gonna stand up and be like, okay, come on, Tenoch.
Yes, Domini.
Tell me what's going on.
Some of the guards who are too far away to hear you,
All they heard was,
they look over there, and then they just kind of like
and he just
kind of push away from it, look away.
walks out entirely. Just
Okay, what is going on in the city?
I'm not sure what I could tell you that your eyes have not, Domini.
Why?
Domini?
Why did it happen? Why did this go?
I do not know.
I will say you did hear Iquettle the Green Doom. It's one line, because everybody basically in the city did.
Oh, fuck, out of character, I can't remember.
I remember.
Okay, go ready.
That's inspiration right there.
You have stolen my past.
I will steal all of your.
So I take your future.
All your futures.
I will take all your futures.
Then I will repeat that to Zolan.
Thanks, Fanny. Stolen. This will be this. Okay. This will be on the next Darkeport t-shirt.
So we are looking for a thief. So we will find a thief. And we will kill that thief. And then feed it to this tribe.
As you say, Domini.
So, tell me about thieves. Come on.
I do not know.
Me?
I'm a warrior. I am noble. I do not steal.
I'm a crafter, Domini. I know
yes.
nothing of
Thievery.
the world of
You've never
the
stolen anything.
night. No?
When I was young, I stole something once. It was an emblem my father used to wear. It's under there.
He's going to point to his family's home.
Probably on him. When I stole it, he was so mad. But when I gave it back and accepted the responsibility of stealing this, he beat me, but he respected me. So we need to get the dragon to respect us. So we need to find what was taken. And beat the shit out of them.
As you say,
So
Domini.
keep an ear. Because my eyes can see. But you hear different things, craftsman. I do not.
Of course. Of course, as you say.
And obviously, this stays between us, eh?
Certainly.
Good. Your voice sounds better.
Thank you.
It gives you a very rustic look. You sound wiser.
And he's going to slap you in the face, like, really hard. And be like, oh.
Yeah.
And he's going to start walking away.
Ansley,
Not a slap, like, but like, ha ha. You know,
You are a good friend.
as you're, actually I was going to say wondering, but anything but, you're pretty intentionally going through. You notice a chamber to one side, because remember the catacombs underneath are about the only thing left that wasn't just demolished, either because they're underground and incredibly well made. Maybe the Green Doom overlooked them, but if you had to guess, you feel like there's some sort of message in there that it was leaving. And you look, and this chamber catches your eye because it looks unusually well maintained. It's not dusty at all, and you know all of where the royals are buried. So it's not there. Do you want to continue to go on to Watley immediately, or do you want to poke your head into this little side area?
I'll do the side area first.
Okay. You look in and you're looking around, and someone has been at work, because you're seeing that they had just started a mosaic, and they have already gotten many of the beaten bark, but this they use the lighter bark for, so they can paint on it and it shows up. And again and again and again, you're seeing a green and gold egg replicated all around this room, and it's all focused down to a point. And this would culturally, you would know this. It focuses down to a point to manifest this thing. There are actually some deep rituals that have gone on in this pyramid. And you can see this urn that has very, very soft, like multiple soft layers of cotton that have been woven there and placed.
Any scratches? Any?
You're gonna go in while you're alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not alone, this is my baby.
Yeah. True. That's true.
Boy.
So you're going in and you're looking at it. Make an investigation roll. see how much you got here.
Pretty damn good. Is a
10.
What's the investigation?
It's decent on that character.
Yeah, it'd be a 15.
Nice.
You're looking at the depression on it, and you actually find it's very small, but you find one small chip of green and gold that's like wedged into the cotton. And you can see, make one more, and then you won't have to anymore. But it really is two distinct things. I want to see if you get this.
Investigation?
Yeah.
That will be a 12.
Okay. And you're looking around, and you realize that as deep as this chamber is, because this is pretty deep now, there is a very deliberate. It's actually uncanny because there's no modern engineering. So there's a very deliberate hole in one of the walls, and it looks like someone it looked like in modern times you would look at it and you would think it was a drill. It was a large drill that had drilled through. Obviously nothing like that exists here. So you have no explanation for it. But it's just this perfect hole that's going up. And you can actually see through, and it's deceptive because of that same weird dampening of sunlight that goes on. But you look through the hole, and it goes all the way out of the pyramid.
Wow.
Yeah, all the way through.
I will get the chip
Okay.
and collect it.
I mean, it's like a little flake of mica.
I'll put it like one of my potion or medicine pouches, whatever
Okay.
I have.
It's like Ace Ventura.
Okay. Finally making our either Arcana or History check.
That's going to be a
Fairly low DC because of the environment, but
history. That will be a where's it at? There it is. That is a 11.
okay. No, you don't make that connection yet. Okay. Okay. So yeah, you take the chip,
I will.
and then you continue on to Watley's.
Does the egg look like it can fit down that chute, roughly?
More than big. More than big enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe even like basically like a
Sonic.
Six Flags Over Texas or something, like that you could go through like a water chute, about that size. Is it?
And as far as the murals go, they're all just like eggs, right?
There are variations. I mean, there's some at night, some at day. Some have more green, some have more gold, but they're all some of them are like more impressionistic or distorted, but they are all toward this goal of manifesting, and they're all culturally, again, you would know that like they're all focused down to this point of this urn.
And are there any tracks around it of late?
Yeah, you can make a survival. You can make a survival roll, sure.
I'll try that. Let's see what happens here. No.
You better make hay. The little people better make hay while the chosen are out doing their thing. Okay.
I think I've gathered enough here.
Okay.
Then I'll move on to Watley's resting spot, or try to find it.
You do, because I'd said last session, Ocatla actually had told you where it was. You go, how willing are you to disturb him?
I'm not going to disturb.
Because he's wrapped.
I'm not going to. I've already thought about this. It's also been 10 days, so he's wrapped. I'm not going to unwrap him or anything like that. But I am going to first look to see if his Watley is with him.
Watley?
The weapon.
The weapon.
If the Makwi is with him.
Makwi, sorry. Makwi's with him.
So you look and you do not find it. And it should be there. It should be there. And you don't think, you find it highly unlikely that somebody tomb robbed, just openly tomb robbed.
Yeah, and they fell. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, he fell, and there's knowledge of that.
But he fell right in front of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Like amongst friends. So all of his gear should be here.
Should be here, right? Exactly.
And you didn't see anybody running around with his gear. So make of that what you will.
All right. Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna. As far as signs of how he died, he's wrapped. I'm not going to disturb that.
Well, and they've started the mummification process anyway.
I'm going to give my respects appropriately. Father, I will find out who did this and we'll make right. And I want to find out if I can internally focus and see if I can detect if what's in me is a boy or a girl.
A mother knows.
You don't know. You have hopes.
He would be.
It's also very early on.
Yeah.
This was
Not formed. And when I have a son, he will do you well. My father. And she gives appropriate respects to him, what the culture allows here.
You have an intuition that, and you are a pragmatic enough person that you know this may just be your hope, but you have an intuition in that moment that your son's going to be Ascipiodal, like as quickly as it possibly can be.
I know it.
I knew it, I'm a boy. I feel like I got like Pepe Le Pew's skunk in my ear right now.
My love, please don't.
Yeah, Pepe Le Pew. That's funny. Yeah,
He's not French.
that's a good one. Okay,
Excited for the son.
Mr. Shadow Fox.
What?
Hi, how are you doing?
I hear the whole time.
So Ocatla's about to get another Domina. See, we're making up for all of those Dominis. Yeah, so you can get a supercut. Of Dominus. So are you doing something else, or do you want me to go to that scene with her?
Go to that scene. It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Because I know you are kind of always cooking
I'm thinking
things
right now.
Oh, you're
Like,
thinking.
I'm thinking. It's on me.
You're plotting over there. Okay, so you're beginning to have mild. I don't want to make light of this, but I can say this as somebody who struggled with it. You're starting to get some like mild, incipient PTSD from hearing Domina, because it's been day and night for 10 days. You haven't been sleeping well. They haven't allowed you to sleep more than 4 or 5 hours a night before before they start up again at the next crisis. So you see him, you kind of smell him, a block away as the harried panic runner is coming towards you, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he pulls in, and like a toddler screaming, there's that pregnant moment, and then Domina!
Speak plainly.
The Kuind! Domina! The Kuind! They've abandoned us.
All of them.
They're gone. Their quarters are deserted. They took their gear. The wretched thieves. They looted the bodies of the fallen, including the soldiers, including the guard, and they left.
Where to?
I'm uncertain, but I assume from many of them went by boat, some of them by foot. But I think, Domina, I think some of those dogs are turning on us. I think some of them went to the eastern front of the city and they're joining Orin the Undying, that warlord.
I'm not so surprised.
And this kind of comes through like the guards that are around you, the civilians that are around you are all kind of stand up and shocked, and they're all looking at you now. I don't know what to make of it, Domino. What do we do?
It is what it is. Please, calm yourself.
What do we?
Calm yourself. You understand that things are changing, and she's kind of looking out to everyone. They were never our people.
But we fed them, we clothed them, we gave them shelter against their enemies, against the elements. We civilized them, we gave them rituals and religion and cult and medicine.
Blood speaks louder than any hospitality.
I mean, they've been with us for generations, and they turn on us like animals.
I encourage you to calm yourself. Do what you must, all of you, to come to terms with what's happening.
With advantage, make a persuasion check.
Okay.
See if word of this gets out amongst the city.
Terrible. Actually, 18.
18? Okay.
I'm quite persuasive.
Okay.
They are dogs. It is what it is.
Okay. some of the most of the civilians, all of the soldiers and most of the civilians kind of have this moment. They look because remember, they don't think of you as chosen, they think of you as a demigod. It's different than Juramentum. Like those are the champions of Juramentum, but you're like an avatar for something greater than them. So
Superman.
They look at each other. All of the guards, most of the civilians look at each other, kind of nod. There are a few of them that your words in that particular moment, because you always grade yourself, like you are self-aware enough to hear your words and you can see the impact it's having on people. And you know that you didn't quite have the punch at the end of your oration. So some of the ones who are like, they're just caught up in their panic.
Sure.
But nobody's fighting with you. And the sentiment, the anti-Kuan sentiment, spreads pretty quickly. And news of them having abandoned the city, and even some of them turning on you, and joining the enemy, joining the Balai enemy while you're vulnerable, spreads quickly.
Some of them will return, I'm sure. They'll realize what they've lost. But this is our time now to come closer to our pride and honor our great city. And we cannot honor our great city if you are all scared and crying.
One of the ones who's actually bearing Daybreak says, Lady Ocatla speaks true. We have to have the strength to seize a new dawn. And they start screaming, a new dawn, because that's Coyotel's, I don't want to say motto, but that's like a sacred phrase associated with him, and how Azel resurrected Tenoch, a new dawn. A new dawn! A new dawn! And where do you go from there, or what do you want to do from there?
I would have to go to report to her, I would imagine.
Quickly, yeah. Like soon you would.
Okay.
And where
Just let me know
she's
when,
now
'cause I'd be on the way there.
She's now the acknowledged, for better and for worse, she is now the acknowledged de facto leader of your civilization.
Yeah, so I would have to go there as a noble.
Where is that actual rally conversation?
You were walking. Where were you walking back toward?
I mean, probably towards the temple.
Back toward the pyramid.
Yeah.
Okay, the remains of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were walking. So that's pretty close to the heart of the city then, because Ocatla fell not so far from the pyramid.
I'm gonna take a look around the crowd, just as she's talking.
Okay.
And just get a gauge on who might actually be like, yeah, that's some bullshit. Like underneath their breath, even though they don't want to be the one to be like a dissident in her moment of triumph. Any of them actually stand out like?
So I'm going to note that Defiant Chaos is now a member. Yay! And Defiant Chaos just gave us a $10 super chat saying, "Ocatla, why?"
I love it.
I'm so confused by the question. Are you gonna be a little whiny baby?
So
while everyone that we know is dead.
So, and of course, as soon as you throw down the buck up challenge, all of the guardsmen, or all of the aspiring guardsmen, that all put steel in their spine. You're looking around. Some of the civilians do look at you because you're obviously Kuand. They're looking at you and they don't really know what to make. They know that you're Asketeotl, and they also know that you're not them.
Right.
So one particularly beefy boy is just kind of staring at you.
I'd take a gander at this one too during this chat.
Okay. What's the vibe between you and your dear friend?
I would look
Shadowfox?
him. During my sharing, I would find a moment to look him straight in the eye and see where he stood.
Okay. Make an insight check. Make a deception check.
I don't like who I am when you're I'm not trying to.
Can I use my inspiration?
You can't use your inspiration.
She really wants to make sure this works.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Dirty 20. I did not have that much. I had a dirty 15. So
Okay.
I'm so glad I rolled.
You see a level of careful calculation that you chide yourself for having missed. and you realize that you have been a bit naive about the Shadow Fox's allegiances.
Well, she's inspecting me. Can I inspect her?
You can.
Pretty sure she said everything that she tried to be deceptive about, or just openly watching me.
You can. Ocatla's always on guard.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, what do you now? Well, depending. Like, are you trying to spot that she's checking you out?
And like suspicion is building in her eyes.
Okay, that you will need to make an insight check for.
And me.
Because I assume you're just keeping your game face on.
Oh, yeah.
when you're-
But
when-
also
Yes.
entering.
Because they're dogs.
Deception, yeah?
Randy, what did you get?
21.
21.
Well, I got a 22.
All you can see reflect.
She with your little headdress.
Hey, all you can see back is your own anxieties reflected for your people
anxiety.
reflected back.
I got a 15. I'm like,
She knows.
She knows.
That is a cold sweat and a drop in the
I'm not a
stomach.
cold sweat.
No, it's not. It's not a cold sweat, but no, not anxiety for you. Anxiety for the welfare of your people. That's all you see reflected back. And you, yeah.
What do I got on this guy? Like, is there anything that he cares about that I'm aware of?
His people,
Where are they?
they fled. They just
Pretty sure you hit every button you could on him.
You've been aware of the occasional lover, but you realize as you're sitting there and there's this and the people are chanting a new dawn, not screaming but not like chanting almost ritualistically now, because this is again embedded in the people. A new dawn, a new dawn, a new dawn, and they start stamping their feet in certain sacred patterns. You realize that Shadow Fox has done a masterful job of both being around the coterie and not around the coterie. And because he was cohened, you never really gave it that much thought, because the important people were your coterie. The nobility could preen and could talk and make proclamations, but at the end of the day, everybody understood. When the dawn came, everyone understood that what Ocatla said and what the coterie decided is really what the city-state was going to do.
Gotcha.
And hence the 5 or 6 colonies that you have out. Which you've also, I assume, have sent messengers to, and there's a whole other network process that's going on right now. But yeah, and you're kind of reviewing it. And he's a little older than you. How old did you make Shadow Fox?
We did about 34.
Yeah, so he's like half the generation up from you, but this has just been his way the whole time. You have adventured together. Like, you had the occasional adventure when you needed his specific talents of breaking and entering into some place. But for the most part, he's just kind of been off doing his thing, being a model cohened.
Yeah.
And a credit to his people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Golly.
Yeah. So, I would just continue to
Sure.
to boister the crowd. I would also maybe a little subtly, if I still have the talon with me.
Oh yeah, you do.
I would be thrusting that talon a little bit, as we're talking about a new dawn.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it seems casual, but it's for the priestess. It's a bit symbolic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
If any of the guards pick up on that.
Can I try to pick up on that too, so I'm watching them?
Yeah.
Like just seeing if glaze eyes come to their face is some kind of effects.
I'm actually gonna have Ocatla make a performance roll.
oh, perfect.
And go ahead and make an insight roll.
She shrugged her shoulders, buddy. You're done.
This is
I'm
why
gonna make you roll at the same time because I don't want you to
17. Oh no, I'm sorry, 20. Dirty 20.
25.
25. Okay.
25.
So there are layers. With the 20, you're aware that there are layers to her performance. There are always layers to her performance. You also are beginning to appreciate that Ocatla has been sandbagging for winters and winters now, and that she is a far more adept manipulator and orator than you ever gave her credit for before. But she was always the mascot of the coterie. She was always the junior member, and I'm just so cute, and I'm just so open and everything. And you're like, oh, okay.
So then I start working it back, like the same way that you were working back through me. I'm working back.
She's kind of so
Has she ever actually taken point? How many times has she always just been the cute one that everybody just loves? Like all the little things that she's just done.
Or the advisor.
Yeah, or the advisor.
At some point,
So the two of you are having this chosen interaction with each other that nobody else in the plaza.
No.
Distance.
Like everybody else goes out of focus, and the two of you see each other for the first time ever.
yeah. I
I nod to you,
oh,
and then I bow to you. As a show of respect. It's something I was not aware of. It just struck me by surprise.
I narrow my eyes and smile.
Oh my god.
And I would say to him quietly at some point when it was appropriate, of course, we need to talk.
Of course.
This is great.
I'm coming. Well, I think we can come to a good accord here if we talk quite well.
I'd like that.
Let's not try to kill each other, please.
You see a sprinting.
Try, of course.
You see a sprinting Linalli. Just all business on her face. She's sweating,
Just put my hand out to
Okay.
her.
and she sees you immediately. Adjust course. Comes up. She whispers in your ear. You can try to make a perception check since you're literally right there next to them.
And
No. I got a 6.
Okay.
It's not going to be enough.
She whispers, "It's gone. Someone stole the mask of Goyle. It's gone. The construct was attempting to bring him there, to put the mask on him, to make a new dawn for him."
She would be masking her fury. I mean, this is like kind of like the worst news she's heard in a very long time. But she would say, "Linalli, we need to go now." And
Ma'am.
I would just exit this space, the public space. I would find the closest private space. I would also nod to him like, "I'm going to talk to you soon."
As the crowd is swarming around, she looks up, "Make way for your betters!" And the crowd parts. Okay.
Right. And I would go and sit now with the
With the headdress?
headdress.
Okay.
And I would be trying desperately to locate where that mask is.
Okay. Okay. Do you have proficiency with investigation?
No.
No? Okay, so you do now.
Okay.
And go ahead and try to make a deduction roll as you're sitting there.
Deduction roll.
Yep. So investigation.
Jeez.
What's that total?
11.
11? Okay.
Or is it just 8?
It's just.
It's just one. It's just this. 8.
Well, no, because she has proficiency with it with the headdress.
She gets her
But I get
bonus
the proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
on top of that one.
But I don't have anything on investigation.
Yeah. So would it?
It's just a +4.
Yeah, +4 would be the total.
Okay. So then
12.
9.
9? Okay. You think through it, you feel through it, it is gone.
Like outside the field of the city.
You wouldn't go that far,
Okay.
but you cannot.
It's been taken.
It's been taken. And you feel like it's deliberately obscured right now.
Deliberately.
I mean, like somebody would have, even with a 9, I mean, because you were physically in the field, you were in that mana barrier, remember, that was made? Somebody would have had to have figured out how to get in, because you didn't cut the whole thing, you didn't have time. Most of it was still intact. And any commoner, anybody who wasn't Asciteodal, probably not even a noble, but like certainly anyone else, that'd be an execution immediately if they were touching those items.
Linalli, where's Nilishli now?
Still there. I told a guard to go out to that station. I assume they're there by now, but I can go back. I can run back and I can check. But I felt that you had to know this moment.
Of course I did. Thank you so much. We must put out a quiet alert that this sacred object is missing.
if you want, is it more important for me to look for this, or is it more important for me to prepare for our guest, this warlord?
We must prepare for our guest, but as you do that, you know who to tell that the mask is missing.
I'll do everything that I can.
You will.
I'm horrified that this has transpired, Mistress.
Thank God the other artifacts are here.
Where they should be, with you.
Aye.
Okay.
For the Kool-Aid.
I'm just a public servant.
She is.
She is a
Zolan is like,
I am the
selfless public servant.
Come on.
she's the best.
So, you, is Tenoch still with you?
No.
You have released Tenoch? Okay.
He had gone off on his own.
Okay.
Left me,
Yeah, I was going
just
back.
left me there.
I do want to ask, what is our relationship? I know of her,
Yeah, of course. She's
and I'm one of the last noble kind of people remaining.
she's basically one of the city superheroes.
That's what I was thinking. Because I would have to go and kind of report back from one of the colonies and all that.
She's the youngest one. She's the closest in age to you and Xipilli. She was heavily interested in the colony to the west, because Keotl, quite frankly, is way overcrowded. Or no, not anymore, but was way
Housing
over.
market.
Yeah,
It's a buyer's market.
was way overcrowded, and the 2% of the nobility that still had a brain in their head recognized this, and moved to do something. I'm gonna just in general, with advantage because of all of these red flags, make an insight check, and Ocatla make kind of a career-long deception roll and see how well your interactions have been with him over your career.
Insight?
Yeah.
That's 19 plus 3, 22.
22.
16.
16. So okay, so again, demigods, right? So this is not something that you would just put out there for public consumption. However, there's always been something to you, and sometimes you think you're crazy because everybody loves her, but there's always been something to you that has seemed just a little off in your interactions. She seemed a little quick to go to blood. But you are a bloody culture, so okay, fair enough. She seemed a little disinterested when her interest didn't align with something. But these were all very subtle discrepancies. Although you're looking around the city, you know that your betrothed has given you words of warning. And so you approach this meeting with some, well, whatever you want to for the character, but it could be trepidation, could be on your guard, could be...
Zolan, I think that he would be imagining of all the interactions and everything that he had before of her kind of possibly being in it for her own, kind of aside from that, he doesn't really care as much as he cares about being a soldier.
Fair enough. No, I mean,
and he's thinking about being a soldier of like, maybe she knows something, but either way, someone needs to pay. And like his mind, for whatever reason, will probably never be able to wrap around the idea that she was responsible or anything of that nature, or if there's anything she could have done. So at this point, he's kind of just looking for blood.
One other thing,
And she's the one who's going to be able to give it to him.
Right, and that's and that's fair. And she also is the head of state right now, and the Eurolit are a deeply hierarchical people. One other thing I will say is that you knew Watley, her father, obviously very well.
Yeah.
You knew his capabilities. You knew that he was next to Ocatla. If Ocatla hadn't been there, he would have been the leader. And from the guards, you know that he didn't die in the initial attack of the Green Doom, because he was there defending the pyramid from the scavenging Balai. That is very weird to you, that he would have survived the initial attack and now be dead. That is weird as a warrior, because you know these Teotl are horribly resilient. So if he didn't croak in combat, then what happened? But again, maybe you don't, but that's going to be playing
One
in
of
your
the
head.
things that he's playing with, but
It's one of the discrepancies.
loyalty is more important now.
And I see him as like a...
He's part of the thin strata left of the nobility that's worth a damn. Because remember when you were asking about what's the nobility in earlier episodes of in this arc, I was basically telling you they're pretty worthless. Like, they don't really govern. They're certainly not going to take up defense of the city. That sort of thing. It was always, honestly, because of Ocatla, he was such an overwhelming figure too. became, it was very easy to cede more and more authority to somebody who would just deal with it and was lawful good and, almost like Bellator Sanctus-esque in his devotion to the city. So he's coming up. There is a little bit of danger in this marriage, potentially, because it starts to form a power block. Because he's popular. He's popular. She's beloved, and what's left of the nobility in that generation is going to rally around them. Okay. So in the midst of all of this chaos or controlled chaos going on, constructed chaos even going on. The crowd, they don't fall away from you like a messianic figure, but they do part. They do move aside. Oh, you're back, and some of them want to touch you.
He's like,
some of them,
kind of like greeting.
Some
surprisingly in a very optimistic mood.
Right, for all the death and destruction.
Look, you lost weight, and it's like a guy missing an arm.
So
you always favored your left side.
Linalli has she's just sprinted back. She cracks wise about being reduced in rank from Ascii to runner, but it's with a smile on her face. And
Bestest runner.
Yeah. And you see him coming through, and he looks. Zolan looks like the picture of health, freshly back from the excursion. Yeah.
He bows every single step of respect and authority.
Okay, and for the first time in your life, a noble bows to you.
I didn't know that. I thought that there was always some kind of...
No. She's now she's now the head of the civilization, so it's now appropriate.
No, makes sense. Okay.
She just gently bows. Zolan,
Hi.
welcome back.
I was too late.
Or just on time.
I hear something is rumbling. Bad guy. That I can kill. Huh?
You want to kill?
Oh, I don't know. I want to find it. Things. You know what I mean?
I do. There will be a battle tomorrow that will whetten your sword.
Oh, that sounds fun.
What
can I do for now?
Can I speak to you in confidence?
I was hoping you would ask me that. Perhaps we should do this alone?
And you've pushed your guards away through all of this, right? So they're still in the vicinity, but they're not within earshot. Okay.
I could use a drink.
A drink? Guards. They're just...
Oh yeah, are we back in the pyramid kind of thing?
No, you're still out and about because she hasn't had a chance.
Provide this warrior with drink.
Of course. So they run and they start trying to gather up precious reserves of water.
Oh, I was looking for some.
And
is there alcohol in this area?
Yeah, there is actually. People would be living off the alcohol because that hasn't been going
Bring him
bad.
spirits.
Understood, Domina.
Fly with spirits. Go, go, go.
And they start scattering. No, you. Okay, idiot. I'm going to get the spirits. You're going to get the fresh water.
You could be quicker.
Yeah. That's because he started kind of doing this, Benny Hill situation of running back and forth with each other.
You've seen the destruction, obviously.
Yes.
It's terrible.
It's disgusting. They will pay.
And it's starting to become clearer to me, and perhaps you're quite smart. It's becoming clearer to you.
That makes me happy you think so.
That we have traitors among us.
I heard that something was stolen, and we are looking for a thief.
Oh, much has been stolen.
Then I will get it back for you.
It's not even about that. Do you understand?
It's about everything.
Do you understand what has happened here? The betrayal, the manipulation.
I saw my parents' paddles. They were crushed.
Just terrible. Tomorrow, we will confront the Belai and the Kuand. And amongst them, I don't need to know who exactly, but they are the traitors. I know it. Thieves.
Huh. That's what I need to know.
I can count on you.
You can count on me.
Thank you. And you just came back from the West.
We were told that we should come back.
How was your time there?
We spoke to things older than everything.
Yes.
It's very exciting. But we were not ready. Some gods are not as kind as you. Some of them tend to be... You know how gods can be.
I do.
It's silly. They're fun. But they can also kill everything that you love.
They can.
And it looks like one did. That's enough for me. What do you need? Because Zolan will do it.
I need your loyalty, and I need you to gather the warriors for tomorrow. Remind them of what we are really fighting for, which is our dignity.
Have you
Our
seen my
strength.
father-in-law's weapon?
Who?
My father-in-law's weapon. I heard he fell.
He did. No, I haven't. But as I've shared, so much has been stolen.
Why? I want to get it back. With his.
Then
There
we
should be
must,
no reason why no blood will go on it.
then we must destroy the blood.
I like the idea under this. I will do this.
Yes,
For
you
you.
will.
For us. For the puddles that were my family. For the ash that was remaining of the city. This is exciting. They say he was undying. You will see so. So long, we'll see.
And on that cheery note, as we wend our way toward intermission, we will have. I'll talk with you at the break, and I'm actually going to give you guys a couple choices as to where to pick up.
Oh.
As we have several options, and so we'll resolve that. Meanwhile, y'all, thank you so much. Thank you again, Defiant Chaos, for your contributions. We really appreciate that, and we will see you on the other side of the intermission. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Toodles.
God, it's so fun not being tired.
Why limit your imagination? In the tabletop role-playing space, customization is everything, especially when it comes to your character.
Greetings, weary travelers, and welcome to Constructed Chaos, a channel dedicated to all things D&D, including live play streams and podcasts, 3D printing, painting, crafting, homebrew content, and guides for players and dungeon masters alike. Join our Discord for even more special benefits, announcements, and free downloadable content. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
We lift our voice to greet the rising sun. Your splendorous touch burns away the dark. With a soft golden hue, your world is made anew. We follow the path you've laid.
Welcome back, faraway friends. We are glad you are still with us. Some quick, well, first off, I want to say thank you, Grim Reefer, for the 5 gifties.
Hey.
Woo! That is much appreciated as ever.
Zolan likes this. Yes.
Zolan likes this, and we have. I like how Zolan has taken the royal we. I feel it's appropriate.
Zolan.
I feel it's appropriate.
All about Zolan.
And then
Zolan is about everyone.
our friend, our faraway friend, Defiant Chaos, has super chatted us another $10 and said, "Chaos be with you for your battles to come." So,
Zolan loves this.
Little force will be with you.
Zolan liked this more.
you know what? This is going to set a dangerous precedent. I'm not going to do this every time, but since this is a first, and since I really want to lean into the chaos theme, Defiant Chaos, decide who you think has been doing the best job in the session so far. Okay.
It will be Zolan.
And I'm going to give them a little. I'm going to give them a little. I'm going to give them a little something.
Ooh, power.
Just a little something.
Little power.
All right.
Power.
So we discussed it. We discussed it during the downtime, and I gave 3 different possibilities, and we decided that we're going to start up. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to button up what we need to, and then we're going to do all the preliminary stuff leading up to the battle, and we'll see how far we get. We may actually start the battle tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But there were a couple other ones. We could have just started. We could have started at the attempted wedding tomorrow, or we even could have skipped a couple days and just been like, bam, you're right in the thick of it. I had scenarios for all 3, but I wanted to make sure, I never want to waste y'all's time. Obviously don't want to waste a faraway friend's time, but I think there's enough going on that I want to see exactly how it lands. Yeah. Okay. All right.
The candle of
Man, look at that draw. You don't even need a headdress.
Ocatla's too fast.
If you had it, would be faster.
All right, so there was a whole amusing interaction. Randy and I have known each other so long that Randy can just look at me in certain ways with certain hand signals, and I know what he's doing. So we did not discuss this off camera. So Randy, you were attempting to read their lips.
Old LARP days.
And at first you were getting Zolan's lips, and
Zolan has beautiful lips.
Then Ocatla, you've been feeling, honestly, a tad stressed lately. I can't imagine why. And you started to prickle, and you started to think about how that kind of sixth sense of yours started prickling. You started to think of how exposed you felt, and whenever you get that feeling, even though the guards are out of earshot, you kind of looked around and you saw somebody moving out of your field of vision before you could finish turning your head, and you just knew that you needed to reposition yourself and kind of huddle indoors. So about halfway through that conversation, that would have been so only on his side that you caught, about halfway through that conversation, you basically pulled into a more sheltered alcove where even prying eyes would have a hard time finding you.
Can I be paying attention to her reaction to see what she was reacting to?
Make a perception roll. Yeah.
Because he did try to say.
Yeah. Okay. And it's funny because I rolled twice for y'all. You were tied both times.
Oh, great.
And it was for different aspects of that duel with each other. And then finally, you did win, so you drove him off.
No, I got a 5.
5.
Zolan does not care about
You're just reeling. I mean, internally.
He's looking around in all of horror, and he's trying to keep his face.
It's death everywhere, death everywhere, death everywhere.
Then he'll just ask, "What are you looking at?"
You understand this is a sensitive conversation.
Absolutely.
It must be
Zolan,
kept in confidence.
I am all but your servant.
Thank you. Others are not as loyal right now.
Who?
We will find them.
What are their names?
Watch
For what?
the way they move, Zolan.
Is he going?
He's a brain to the family.
Yeah. Is he going?
And she just gives him this knowing look.
What do they call him? Whisper it to me.
your character would know that a trained priestess is probably not going to answer directly like that in this culture.
It's a very different situation.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
that's like.
And I'm not saying
and
you
he's
can't-
also like.
I'm not saying you
who
can't.
can I blame?
I'm
Who
not
can I
saying
do?
you can't do it.
Yeah.
Just your character would know it culturally appropriate.
Watch.
Different from Germentum.
Watch where I put my attention, and you will know.
Ooh, yeah.
I will watch you as always. So I will see it done.
Very good.
Thieves.
Okay. Eventually, I'm gonna continue with you. I know you're off to do things as well. Eventually, you seek your betrothed back out. Are you going to try to collect kind of the shattered remnants of the guard into some sort of coherent force first?
Is that what she was telling me to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That will take the rest of the day.
He would probably put whatever guard that hugged him in charge of getting everyone together, and then kind of give them like a searing threat of like, you know what is at stake? Zolan. And you.
When you make the roll, if you do it through a shattered intermediary, it's going to be a disadvantage, or you can do it personally and do it straight, your choice, and have the rest of the day to do other things.
Yeah, I guess he would probably be more concerned with gathering information and trying to find out what she meant by that and who's looking for her, rather than getting ready for a battle because he only knows about one person's name in this battle, and he assumes that he's just a nobleman coming back, kind of have his freedom.
Okay.
So,
okay. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So
just from his perspective.
So at disadvantage, make a persuasion. She's actually pretty well kitted out for it, but.
That is going to be a nat 20 and a 9.
Oh, that's painful, Donnie. Okay.
Every time I roll the dice, it's.
You communicate to this guard with perfection. You leave flawless instructions to him. You tell him exactly where to go, and it goes in one traumatized ear and dumps out the other. And then, but you don't know that yet.
So Esley's going to try to. I mean, after my little excursion, I am seeking him out next.
Yeah, because I guess if he would have. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of. I don't know what direction. But yes.
Okay. You eventually seek out. You eventually seek out who you need. What are you doing then?
I'm looking for him.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I see him along the way, if I see Tenoch along the way, that's maybe there's some interaction there I want to do. Otherwise, I'm going straight to find where he's at.
I
need to catch him up.
Seek him out. Question.
Maybe ask a guard or two.
Yeah. Okay.
Him, that sort of thing.
And trying to think at this point what time in the day it is. I mean, it's got to be long in the day now.
What is my rank relationship to his rank? I know you said at one point that because I'm a daughter of
Nasky Teal.
That there's a slight difference there as far as a normie goes.
And and Tenoch is a revered artist in the city in a city that reveres blood and beauty. So, Keodal means beauty. I would say you're roughly equivalent. You probably have Etzli probably has slightly higher status.
But overall,
it's you're in the same tier.
Same tier class. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
Okay, so you find you kind of climb out of the pyramid, out of the rubble of the pyramid. You find your betrothed, hitting up different people for information. Okay, so tell me, what are you trying to find during that day? Because you gave up some precious time.
Betrayal? Just what has been different before this doom?
Okay, so you're really scouring for the thief then, or for whatever the disruption was. Mm-hmm. Ooh, all right. What could you possibly see? What could that character possibly?
If you'd have known it was a dead end, he probably would have stayed training then. But I don't know.
You didn't know.
You didn't know.
No, you were.
I guess everybody would be trying to find that would have
a couple
information
torches.
would be
I'll probably
dead.
meet up with her anyways.
Yeah, you will.
And what my information may influence what you do. So.
I'm gonna give you make 2 rolls for me then. Donnie, do an insight check and a persuasion check.
Insight is a 19.
That's good.
Persuasion is a 18.
That's really good.
Okay. Zolan is good.
You quickly go through the usual suspects. You rule out a bunch of commoners, even the looters. Like to get that deep in, at some point. And I'm mashing this a little bit, Corey, just for time. But I'm going to say that because you specifically sought him out like quickly after that 19 is not blind. That she gives you the piece of information you need, which was that there was a green egg. Like that's the piece that you have to have.
That was what stole it.
Because otherwise it's a dead end. Because then you have no idea. But with that in mind, you're like, okay. Now, so the first torch that you question people and try to get, it's useless. And then when you have that conversation...
What came first, the chicken or egg?
The dragon or the egg, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Once you have that piece of information, you, like I said, you eliminate a whole bunch of people off the list. There are only a handful of commoners that even in this situation would have the balls to go in there, to go that deep in, because it's death for them. All of the coterie was accounted for at that time, but there's still the question, and this is what you keep running into again and again. So you now know from accounts from some of the few survivors that the Green Doom did indeed personally come at the end of the rampage, not at the beginning, which is maybe weird, but at the end of the rampage, one of the last things he did before he took off was impel the earth to part. And then, however it was, obviously his massive claw couldn't reach in there. His claw is like the size of a Volkswagen or something. But he somehow drew the egg to him and then enfolded it immediately. And then after that took off.
And we've had the egg for centuries.
You did not even know that this egg existed.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if he would have seen the murals or ever seen it before with his own.
No, these murals, this is what's bizarre to Etzli's eyes, Corey, is that those murals are made in the style of something ancient, but they were so fresh that you could still see like it was getting worked on. And when you ran your finger over the freshest part of it, the mortar wasn't even dry. In the I want to call it a portico, but that's not the right word. But you know what I'm talking about. In the tiled
mosaic.
Thank you. Yeah, the tiled mosaic. It wasn't even the most recent parts were literally still being worked. So this was all
brand new.
Yeah. That this was happening, even though they had set it up like the ancients would have.
An ancient art, but brand new. Cool.
Okay, so that's kind of what you get, and you're still stuck with the question of how the hell did somebody steal this from the Green Doom and live to tell the tale and get it to the pyramid? Because presumably his lair is nowhere near Keodal, or you would know about it and he would know about you. And then B, how did he track it? Because they were clearly trying to shield it. And the Earlet are pretty damn effective at that.
And I would have told you about her brother and that whole incident, as far as what she did.
Tell me again.
Okay, and we'll pick up. So we'll say that was the quizzing of it. That was most of it.
So I found an egg independently of him finding out, or of my wife finding out it was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and you did not, Etzli, did not have that piece of information that at the very end, the Green Doom came to it, opened the earth, and pulled it.
I don't have that.
But now you do. Yeah, now you do.
Now we have
So
two
it's
pieces.
starting to kind of.
And I will. Etzli will.
My love.
Where are you having this? This is important.
Super private.
Where are you?
Super.
Where are you having this?
Super
Where are you having this conversation at? Are you going to try to, and like where are you sleeping? Because your home. I mean, you've been sleeping under a hide, under a hide tent for the last 10 days. Your home is destroyed. So where are you going to sleep, and where are you going to have this conversation?
Our fallout shelter that we built.
Yeah.
No.
Whatever would make the most sense.
I mean, you can go the handful of nobles who are still left are just like shattered remnants. You're like maybe the only functional noble in the city right now. and some of them have retreated back like deep into the catacombs.
Is there a
almost like
large
ghouls.
kind of like, I guess you'd say suite and or house of a noble family that is obviously all dead? It's still standing that's near the pyramid?
No.
Is there anything that is kind of a sense of luxury? It's just empty.
You'd have to go away from the heart of the city, and the only parts that survived were the westernmost.
Oh yeah, well he wouldn't leave the pyramid too.
Parts of the city. So okay. I'm going to say then that you find one of the innumerable side rooms off of the catacombs then, and that you have your trusty bedroll, you take your hide, your hide blankets. I mean, you were trained by your father to survive, so you have a whole survival kit, etc. And you're having this conversation down there. He may be a bit naive to this or not, depending on how you want to play the character. You're well aware that you're about to discuss things that will get you executed. Yeah.
And I will inform them that these are very sensitive things.
Okay, so you are off and you're in the catacombs then.
Hello, my love.
So,
And my boy. He's going to be a boy. I've dreamed this.
so have I, my love. And it's going to be ASCII total as well.
I knew this.
My father's weapon is missing.
Randy,
Someone stole it.
this is Blessings of Chaos from
I asked.
Chaos. Yeah.
Hey, Cassie.
Yeah.
I asked the lady if she
Inspiration.
saw the weapon.
Gotcha.
She said she did not.
Thank you.
Is it gone?
It is gone and was not grave robbed as far as I could tell. Which means it never returned there in the first place.
Then someone took it. Another
He fell
thief.
with them, did he not?
So you're assuming that the high priestess stole your father's weapon?
I'm not saying the priestess, maybe Nilishli, this other individual, maybe the fox, and he seems very...
A fox?
Yes, the shadow fox. The one who listens in when he thinks no one's watching him. I
The
see
ones
him.
that they're watching. Foxes steal.
And they are also cunning.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, she hands you the chip, and she goes through that story.
Yeah, I know this. But the chip is here. Do you know anyone who could examine this?
You could go there if you wish, but it's dangerous. I wasn't supposed to be in there per se. I don't know. The paint is fresh, though. It's like it was meant to be seen as an old area, but it's not that old. Which means the egg may have been... Do I know roughly when the egg was... I don't even know that. The egg was...
Is this a chip from the egg or a chip from the mosaic?
It's a chip from the egg.
The actual egg.
And when you're handling it, there's something in your blood specifically, Zolan, that there's a slight sympathy to it, and you're not as oblivious as Titus is, like that this character is, but you're not like gifted with the sight, so it's a little weird. But this is what's been described to you your whole life: the sympathy in the blood. And as you're handling this chip, there's something that
Someone
calls to you.
stole his child.
Essentially, yeah.
Something, and I would say someone who has unique skills, because...
Foxes take from hen houses and they take eggs.
Yeah, perhaps.
I do not think it would be anyone else but the fox.
The only other thing is her own brother, the Oracle, the seer. She killed him.
Probably was just. That's so. Seers see things. Sometimes they are different.
Etzel, the wisest of all of them, told me there's something that happened there that we need to spare Tenoch with. Etzel gave his entire life to save Tenoch for that one piece of information. Tenoch does not know what it is, but
Well,
he
it
saw
might be something that he'll see.
My
He's
point.
blessed him. He saved him for something in the future.
My honey, you know that.
Oh, I do not know this. Do
My
not speak of
eyes are
this.
good. Just be cautious. Don't trust anything or anyone.
Zolan trust.
Don't let revenge blind you.
It's not revenge. We need to find a fox to give revenge.
I think the fox has things to answer for, but I think there is an Ascitoli somewhere around here who does as well. I don't know if it's the ones who ran the city or not, but...
For an unborn child, would you destroy a city if they took him? Because Zolan would. I'll be back.
He's gonna leave.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. I believe you and your dear friend.
I did want to make a history check on the mosaics to see if there was anything else that would have kind of chested his memory of like a cult or something of another.
So you go back to the chamber she described. Okay, make a history check. You're actually one of the few people who can just go there. Nobody outranks you anymore.
I know it's a
5 total. Well, right, of the nobility, I should say. She outranks you, but you're like probably number 2 in the city now.
Yeah. 7. But during that time, he's gonna sit there with the chip just in his hand and just kind of like sit back, think, and like what he said while he was leaving his betrothed of just like,
actually,
have done this.
Give me an insight check as well as you're sitting there with the chip.
That is a 21. 18 plus 3.
So it's rare, but every once in a while, when someone has been to Miklon, when someone has been to hell, to the underworld, and you are certainly on that journey right now, it changes a man. And you start to feel pieces of yourself coming together that just have not existed before, or have existed but have never been important, never been what you focused on. You start to have these, it's almost like you're in honestly, like in an altered state of consciousness as you're sitting there. You're not really aware of time.
You know that there's around himself projecting, like,
you know, there's like a buzz of activity, but everyone, for whatever reason, on just an animal level, they don't come into this room. Nobody comes to check on you. Nobody anything. And it's a small. I mean, it's a small room.
Yeah.
It has to be to do this kind of magic, this kind of like deep sympathetic magic. And you begin to. Oh, I'm actually getting chills as I'm thinking about this. You're beginning to see a lineage unfolding in your mind's eye. They're images you don't understand. But you see Ocatla, you see the Green Doom in a many, many, many years in the past, flying the unquestioned master of the continent. You see him landing, and you see him speaking with beings that are humanoid, but they're also serpentine. They have elements of serpent. Some of them even have heads of snakes. Not dragons, snakes.
I love this.
And you can't understand their language, but you're a little startled to find that you can when you actually just listen. And if somebody were to see you at this point, like you're kind of almost half collapsed against the wall with your eyes rolled up back in your head, but you're not aware of any of that. And there's a great expanse of time, and you're seeing your people, but you're seeing them from the draconic perspective. These audacious hairless apes coming out, building their places, despoiling your beautiful, lush, endless forests. And you come to as there was another big jump. And you're looking, and you can almost hear, like for a second, you're disoriented because you can hear the chanting that went on in this place just a fortnight before. You can hear the chanting, you can feel the intent, and these fools, whoever started this, whoever brought this egg here, they were trying to do something incredibly stupid. They were trying to manipulate draconic forces. For what and how, you don't know, but you know you can feel the hand of the hairless ape on the egg, and that was also part of the Green Doom's just inchoate fury as it came here, that someone had attempted to despoil what was pristine and in his eyes perfect.
After that, and after he comes to, he wants to take that chip, and he's going to take a piece of obsidian from each side of his macaw. He's going to put it on, and he's going to bind it so it's only touched by obsidian rather than by a hand.
Oof.
He's going to put it on his chest.
Oh, that's beautiful, Donnie. Okay. And so outwardly it just...
They were wrong.
Yeah, so it just looks like a chip of just,
obsidian.
They were wrong.
Okay.
Solan knows this.
Excellent. So, Ocatla, you have a friend you're seeking out.
Okay, do I know where he is, or am like genuinely searching for him?
Are you trying to make yourself scarce? No. Okay. You're not playing that game.
Okay. The city.
It's time to have the talk.
Okay.
It's time to
I'm over here.
Where is this conversation going to be taking place?
Probably in my chambers at this point. No one should catch a whiff of this.
Okay. So you have appropriated the old coterie compound is of course smashed, but you've appropriated one of the side catacombs that is not connected to the rest of it. Mm-hmm. So this was for one of your queens who is particularly private, and even in death she wanted to be buried alone. And she actually was, because very occasionally there have been women who have headed Keotl, so she was Aski Teotl herself. And unfortunately, her name has been lost, because sometimes there would be some nasty back and forth. Somebody didn't like that a woman was running the place, so they took all of the codices and they burnt, that had to do with her, and they burnt them. So you've appropriated her chambers, and they have served you well. And as you shut the stone door on a hinge and bar it, you know that you're alone. One of the things you've done in this chamber too is you've had Linalli play hide and seek with you, and she's tried to evade you in every possible location that there is in this small room. Places you never would have thought of, like doing like Jackie Channing in the corner and crap like that in the shadows, so you know where to look, and it's essentially impossible to hide from you in here if you have time to check everywhere.
Right.
Okay.
Do I catch that as well? Just about the room?
The room looks spare.
Yeah.
It's small and stone and spare.
Cheers.
Have you decorated
Cushions.
cushions? Okay, that makes sense.
Is there any chance that Etzli would have seen at least those two walk by or together towards that area?
Oh, Etzli.
I think because
My wife can be nosy.
no. It's fine. I think
I know that
I think
part.
because of where you were hunkered down. No.
Okay.
You are not naive enough to think, though, that if you were deducing this, that others are not deducing this as well. Incomplete information, you have some insight they don't, but eventually something is going to come out. You just don't know exactly how it's going to break.
Yeah. I just want to know if I know that this pair were going somewhere together. That's what I want.
You'll hear it by the next. Right. There'll be gossip by the next day. Despite your best efforts, you haven't been able to stamp out the earlit need for the inveterate gossips.
Love catty people.
Okay.
So let's just cut to it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you more loyal to, Tezcatli or the Coend?
That's actually a good question. I mean, the Cohen gave me succor when I hadn't pissed the potting. Or pot the pissing. It's great. Tezcatli's me goddess. I would do anything for her.
What's your answer?
Tezcatli's me goddess, and I would do anything for her.
Even leave all your people who have abandoned the city?
Abandon's a strong word, I'd say. Fled might be a better word after a dragon runs through the place, but yeah. I can tell you one thing, that they did not flee Tomar. That ain't their way. Wherever they went to, that ain't their way.
I'm gonna see if he's lying. Can I roll for that?
I'm debating having this be open, but I think I'm going to keep it open. So make roll insight, roll deception.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah, do it reversed.
yeah, sorry.
What'd you get?
I got a 10, 16 with my
So that's the first roll.
yeah. But I was rolling really the wrong dice. But
What did you get?
23.
23. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to understand how much, like, it's like, oh, they wouldn't do that. And I'm like, is that just totally bullshit?
Would the Kuan do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rely on them.
And how are you shading the truth?
I'm not. They wouldn't have gone there. Like, they would not have gone to Omar. They would not have attacked
Orin, the warlord.
Right, I'm sorry, apologies.
So
they would not have gone to Orin, and I'm 100% certain of that fact.
So he's not lying to you in that. Because you beat him by 7, you know that he's playing the same game that you've played so many times. Because the coterie was not stupid. There were times where they would ask you questions. Azel in particular was the most dangerous out of all of them for you because of his ability to see through almost everyone. You know, he was the avatar. He was basically this group's Marcus. Different god, but still, he was dangerous. So you can feel the Shadow Fox bobbing and weaving, even as he does directly answer you. Now, I will say, you do know, you have a worry that some of them have gone over there, that some of the young men have gone over there.
If that's their cause, they'll be cut down with all the rest of them.
So you
That's
catch
not my problem.
So you catch that shade of the last I looked, like you catch that shade.
Uh-huh. Have you been in their ear?
Whose?
Your people.
About what? About this? What's going on here? Nah, but I know an opportunity when I see one. I'm sure other people do too.
How are you making this an opportunity for yourself?
I ain't making this an opportunity. Well, that's not true. I am.
No insight needed. Never mind. Just admit it.
All right.
Just be plain
I'm
with
about
me.
to be. Plainly spoken, you have been sacrificing my people for as long as I can remember, and them. We're done with it. We're gone. We're out of your face. You're out of your picture. We're not fighting against you. We're not doing shit to you. We just want to be left alone and be uncivilized in the wilds where we should be.
Then why are you here?
Because I actually have an interest in this city right here.
Those sound like conflicting interests.
No, those sounds like splitting hairs to me. I can have multiple interests. One might be my people and their freedom, which I would say ain't my blood people, just my spirit people. And the other is seeing what happens here. Because there is something amazingly crazy going on here right now. And I'm an interesting fox. I want to know.
So you want to know and then go?
I'll stay as long as I need to stay to see Tezcatli's will filled.
And what do you think that is?
I have no idea. I ain't speak to Tezcatli. But if she was to give me a sign, something that I might be able to tangibly touch and hold on to, I might be inclined to listen a bit more.
Well, you understand that this is her talon.
I do understand that, yes.
And you understand that her construct is here.
I do understand that as well.
What else are you looking for?
What else do I need to look for? Why did the dragon attack the city in the first place? Who put the egg there in the first place? Like, I'm an investigator by nature. It's what I did. You know that. It's why you sent me out on the missions you sent me on.
You have to understand that I need to protect what is being built. It is a delicate process. And if you are to...
Is what is being built for Tezcatli or for KO? Plainly spoken, plainly answered.
She just look at him.
Is it? Because if it is, Tezcatli's my goddess, I'll do what I need to do. But if it ain't, Kual ain't my god, and yeah, if his city burns around him, whatever. But if it's for Tezcatli, that's a different story entirely.
Look and see what's happening.
I'm trying to. There is so much deception. I am trying to.
Tezcatli is not deceiving you.
She ain't, but again, I don't speak to her directly. So what I might think might not actually be what she wants.
I would, being bold here, I would grab her talon.
You have it.
And I would put it in front of him. And I'd say, place your hands over this and tell me what you see.
Do I sense deception from her? Or a trap? More a trap than anything else.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Well, yeah, but...
This is a purely a player decision.
Zolan loves these.
I am a loyal worshipper of Tezcatli. If you kill me in communion with my goddess, well, I guess we'll have to find out what happens. Please do not kill me. I am much, much more valuable alive. And I'm going to put my hand on it. Because I believe. I have faith.
What are you watching for? In that split second as he makes contact, what are you watching for?
I'm looking for what happens in his eyes and if he is surrendered to the moment.
I'm going to have to give her advantage on this.
So far, I've said everything as I feel it's true. As far
Yeah, but you're still hiding parts of yourself.
Sure, of
so make a deception roll with advantage. Make an insight check.
With advantage?
No, she has advantage.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay. So roll.
I'm gonna roll
yeah,
first. And
Yeah,
then
you roll first to see if you need.
But-
Don't say anything.
So that was a 5. So I'm
probably not going to cut it.
Who knows?
I'm still rolling my inspiration.
-4.
That, on the other hand, is an 18.
Okay, Defiant Chaos.
Got some chaos at the table now.
Why oughta?
Deception, that's going to be a 22.
21.
Woo! By one again. Love you.
Thank you. You're watching his eyes. You do not see full surrender. But what you do see is he has surrendered to you for now. And that's as far as you can look into him. Even with that, you understand now, though, like with beyond a shadow of a doubt, that this is the most dangerous man in the city. You happen to be the most dangerous woman, and you're his better. At least in your mind. But he is ASCII Teotl, and only a fool would underestimate another demigod. You, Shadow Fox, you pull on the deepest reserves of treachery, subterfuge, and calm that you have in your heart, because she is about to read into your fucking soul.
Best performance of my life.
And as you go, and you do as so many others have done before, and you bend the knee with grace and equanimity, and trying to layer it so that she sees the shades that you want her to see. And you think that she has seen just as far as you need her to see in this moment to keep your head.
Do I feel anything from the talon?
You take some cold damage. For the temerity of having a hand. Of having a hand on it.
I bow my head to the damage itself, because
Okay.
this is the blessing, or touch Tezcatli herself.
Yeah.
She gave you a sign.
I'm like...
Importantly, when you touched it, there was some frostbite. Whatever agitation or whatever is going on, the talon seems to be waking up, because the amount of cold that radiates off of that thing is significantly stiffer than what you felt. You take 5 points of cold damage.
Both of us?
No, only him. But you feel, it's strong enough that you feel this chill wave. But he was the only one to actually touch it, as his hand, the icicles dig in and it starts to frostbite over.
I'll go after that. I'll take another moment of just worship, and then let go before I start taking more damage.
If there was any noted, if there was any doubt in your mind that she somehow pulled a fast one on the city and was running around with a faux artifact, it's gone now. This is an object that your goddess made for whatever reason.
I'm looking at my hand. Just
Ocatla, make one last insight check for me.
10.
Okay. It comes in imperfectly, and you may need to sit with this, but you have just this flash. I don't think you ever played Mass Effect before, so I was going to liken it to the early Prothean visions, but so they're incomplete,
Okay.
out of context, but you see a possible timeline,
It's like Minority Report.
and you see Tenoch is there with you. You are at some sort of rebuilt ? Altar at the top of some structure, but again, you don't really see any detail because it's so quick. And I'm only giving you this because you met and you specifically spoke at length with Nilishli about Winter's Harvest. You do not have the skill to do this yourself, but you see the shaft, the masterly crafted shaft of Winter's Harvest, and you know, and you can feel the Tezcatli's talon biting into somebody's, clawing into somebody's heart to be fully awakened and empowered into this weapon that you now know exists. And that is a timeline. And you know now that you could be the person who forges Winter's Harvest and sends it into the future where the construct is using it. And all of that just comes flood. That lineage you were talking about last session, that all just comes flooding back. And it's not just the hairs on the, I mean, it's like your full body is just chilled with the being at the pivot of history. And this is in the same moment that you're kind of pulling back. Yeah.
What does she feel?
You're two kind of shocked and revered because that was all just in that same split second.
Do you doubt that this is Tezcatli's will?
Ain't no fucking doubt in me mind.
You understand that I will kill you if I have to.
As long as you keep doing Tezcatli's will, you'll never have to worry from me. You're doing her will. You're doing it good.
You say you bring value.
You know I bring value. You've seen me bring value.
A battle is coming, and some of your people, although you say they're not there, may be there.
If they are there, they are enemies. If they have chosen to go with him rather than their own, they ain't one of them. They one of his, and they need to be cut down. Plainly spoken.
How will you best prepare for this battle?
I'll be fighting alongside Nilishli if I can. She's my avatar's goddess. Well, my goddess's avatar, really. But I'll be fighting beside her if I can. I'm better with someone. You know that. You've seen me.
What else can you do?
Well, this situation is going to be right next to her. I don't think I'd be able to do anything against him from all the way in the back, and he's not going to be up in the front, I doubt. He's probably leading his troops to soften us up before he walks in with all triumphantly. You know, and then changing whoever he can along the way with whatever that powder crap was. So I would say that we don't execute the rabble-rousers. Don't do it.
Why not?
Because they was operating under different circumstances. Manipulated, you understand? We're about predators. We had different goals. Don't execute them. Don't make examples of them. You bring them back in the fold. You give them clemency. It's been a very dangerous time. It's been very unsettled and scary, and we must all take this moment to come together. If you execute them, that will start desertion and dissension within their ranks. It will make you look callous to their needs. And you ain't want to look like that right now. You need to be looking like the leader that they know you to be. So don't execute them.
How will they understand what they've done is so wrong?
Because after the battle, you can do it privately and quietly. But in the moment, if they die on that battlefield, at least they're done for a good cause.
I see.
And we need the numbers.
Will you tend to them? You see I'm very busy.
I do see you're very busy, and I would be happy to. I would like to make a request of you. Are you a high priestess yet? Or are you to be one? How do I address you? As Domine, high priestess? I ain't want to overstep.
You can call me Domina.
Domina. Just give my people the time. Give them that space that they need. I will do whatever needs to be done in the city to keep it up and running for you. I ain't like Koa'o. I ain't. He tried to kill me through his proxies, but he still did it. Tezcatli did not. I am her man through and through. If you are her woman, I am your man through and through.
Through and through.
Understand that I gave the information about the gods as an olive branch to start a good working relationship between us.
Well, if you are willing to take responsibility for your people.
Mm-hmm. The ones that actually left, not the ones who joined.
Yes, I understand. Then I will give them this grace you ask for. But you must take responsibility and know that something will be taken from you if they take from us.
What have they taken from you? What have they taken from you? I mean...
Much is missing.
Not from us.
I don't know that.
Okay.
But if you want clemency...
For the gods, so that we can keep the bodies in the city, absolutely.
If you want clemency, then there needs to be loyalty. And if they need the time, you are putting your head on the altar for that. Do you understand?
Not yet, but I'm sure you'll tell me. There is no disloyalty to you or to the city directly. They simply left to make their own path. They did not steal from you. They did not aggressively attack any of your people on the way out.
I will allow them to go. But if they choose to be enemies of any kind, that is where things change.
And one more thing. I hate to be sacrificed. If that's the case, that's great. But yeah, sure. I'll take responsibility, but I hate to be sacrificed on your word. I lived through that once. I needed it again. I'll take my own life before that happens. So...
Then you better watch yourself.
We're in a good place together. Let's keep it there. For the first time, I see a predator amongst a bunch of sheep. It's kind of a good look on you.
She doesn't say anything to that.
All right. And you excuse him? Okay.
And I will make a lavish bow and head my way out.
Right.
Mr. Crab legs the way out. As fast as you can.
No,
I didn't die.
Stately walk.
I was going to fast forward, but I actually, Linalli's going to have disadvantage on this roll, Randy, but just give me a flat roll.
Oh boy.
Because you did send her on a little investigation.
9.
9 total? Okay. It's not a good roll for you.
Didn't the deception be part of it because I was actually hiding stuff?
Let my girl win this one.
She would have targeted the weak point. What's the weakest out of deception, perception, and no, those would be the two you would need.
The weakest is deception, however, it's an expertise skill, and that's at a 3, versus my perception is at a 5.
Okay.
And not an expertise skill, but it is a proficiency.
Okay.
Both of them are.
That's pretty close. Okay. All right. I know how that falls out then.
But I just want a quick scene before we fast forward.
Okay. That was going to be nice. So let me go ahead and hit you then.
Right. So when last we left the wee baby Tenoch, Zolan had carted him about the ruins of the temple, waxing philosophical and kind of crazy. And then just kind of left him there.
So. Yeah.
So he's just in the bowels of the temple.
He's in the bowels of this place. He just can't seem to quit. He's been trying to get out for a full session now, session and a half.
Sorry, I had no idea.
And these crazy people won't let you out.
So he is going to make his way back to where Xipilli was interred.
Okay. You know it well.
So we're going to go hang out there for a little bit. We're going to have a little cry to try to process all of the things that have taken place. And then we're going to try to remember whatever the thing is that could possibly have been the reason why he was spared by this demigod.
Okay. You said you're still trying to fathom life without this beacon, honestly, because that's what he was to you, a beacon. You know that you enriched his life greatly as well. And he would, Xipilli would call you the embodiment of the embodiment of the city personified. Because it's beauty and blood, you know. And you are the best in your field. You are the best artisan and musician, probably out of all of them, or at least up there. So you're sitting with him. Did you put was the head with the body, or did you like inter them separately?
Is it just posted on a spike by your bedside table?
Soccer ball to
in a jar somewhere.
It could be in an urn. It could be mummified.
Yeah, I feel like she did something special with the head.
So she mummified. Okay, she mummified the head. Is it in your bedroom? In your chambers? Yeah. Okay.
Gross.
Okay.
You just saw that too.
It's my brother.
No, you would have seen an urn. No, you would have seen an urn. You just would have seen an urn. But you. I'm going to say.
Suspiciously big nose on that urn.
I'm going to say then that you have an urn. Because glass is known to them, it's rare, but they do have glass blowing technique. So you have an urn where you can actually lift part of it open and you can view the head if you want to.
I love this so much.
Okay.
This is so cool.
You haven't done it yet, but you could. But you could.
Heart-to-heart talk.
Okay. Yeah, have a heart-to-heart talk.
Cry.
So it's
over there.
all the worse. It's all the worse that there's no head. So you can't even caress his cheek or kiss his forehead through the sheets. So you have to content yourself with laying your hand over that heart and the heartbeat that you know so well. Make with advantage because you are in this place and this is your best shot. Make an investigation roll.
That's not good.
This one will be better.
It's a 13 on the die. So I don't know what.
Okay.
This is for getting.
I don't think he has. I think it's just intelligence probably for him. He's, you run through and you run through and you run through and you just keep coming to the same conclusion. There's nothing in the past that would warrant him sparing you. I mean, it just sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, Toby, and sometimes an absurdity is just an absurdity. And now with advantage, make an insight check. Oh yeah, just tell me what's on the die.
Oh, that's a 17. And that's a 16.
Really nice. Okay. Boy, I think it's in the air. Because it's not the past. It's the future. And you see and feel compassion and understanding. And the altar, the body of Ocatla is there, but it's not bloody. It's pristine, and you're like trying to interpret this stuff as it's coming through. And you see yourself on at an altar somewhere, but with a different choice made. And you know that you're looking at a different timeline than all the blood and the death and the chaos and the hell, the Mictlan around you. Because there's only sunlight and a cleansing grief. And Ocatla is not present. But the mask of Coatl is. And you can feel it. You can feel the tremendous power. Because remember, even though we're talking about Tezcatli, and right now it is still the end of the age of Coatl, so he is ascendant. And you can feel this solar energies just stored in this artifact, and you see yourself placing it on his face. And yeah,
shake your head.
It never happened like that.
Possible timeline.
Possible timeline.
It's a possible timeline.
Mm. Obviously, you're going to keep that to yourself.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then there are many timelines in between. Ocatla saw perhaps one of the darkest of them.
Looked really great.
Looked pretty good.
All perspective.
All right. And in the time lift we have, oh shit, that's right. I was going to jump forward to noon the next day, or closing in on it. All right, you hear a certain knock, in different spots, and it's her. Yeah, it's your right hand woman.
Come.
She opens it with just ease. Moves this half a ton of hinged masonry, pushes it back. It usually takes you a while to pull it and to push it. It's the one bad thing about this room, but it makes it almost impossible to kill you in here while you're sleeping. Mm-hmm. She says, "Mistress, you should keep this barred at all times." And she just casually pushes it with her 20 strength behind her shut. Yeah, she's 5'5" and a $130, and she's as strong as Titus.
Love it.
I was busy. They are coming. The young lord was not terribly effective at gathering the militia, but I did the best that I could. We still outnumber them. We still outnumber them probably 2 to 1 now. However, more and more of those Kuan dogs are showing up and turning on us.
Are they?
Over in the east. So by dawn, I'm not sure how many there will be, but it would be more than 100. Perhaps only 20 more, perhaps a lot more. The other thing is this. I had to divide my energies. Yes. So this won't be as thorough as usual. However, apparently the Kuan had a benefactor, a foreigner merchant.
Foreigner merchant?
Indeed. Apparently he was actually present during the fight at the pyramid, the one that happened before I returned.
Oh.
The merchant was. Not a participant, obviously. I didn't actually catch up with this individual, but he seemed to organize the Kuan. That's why so little of their presence still remains around the docks. He helped them flee, but I can't imagine he was the ultimate master.
No. She smiles a little bit.
So that's as far as I could pursue it, though. I'm sorry.
Do not apologize. Have you learned of anything about the mask?
No. No, that seems to have gone up in smoke. Oh, there was a kerfluffle with Nilishli. But apparently she was good on her word.
What do you mean?
She didn't send the guard away.
She did or did not?
Did not, in the end.
What is the kerfluffle?
Well, she wanted to be alone. After Linalli ran off, the construct felt that there was too much danger and too many unknowns. She's very protective of, she calls Ocatla her brother,
Yes, and I also stated that provision was necessary. I'm glad that she...
Well, in the end, she abided by it, but it was a close call.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Linalli, do you have a sense of who may have orchestrated this lowly merchant to create such a intelligent scheme?
To be perfectly honest, I haven't really had my attention there. I just learned of this merchant's existence today.
And you don't think of anyone who might convince that merchant? I'm just curious if you know. I seem quite perplexed about it too.
May I speak plainly?
Of course.
Lady sister, you've always been more discerning than myself in these sorts of matters. Actually, modesty aside, I'm an excellent investigator, but the mysteries of the human heart, that's a little different. So, I can tell you what happened. I can't necessarily tell you why, if that makes sense.
I understand you. You've done well.
So, I'm I can think of many potentials, but in the end, it's going to be your hand that decides.
Well, we will see how this battle goes. And at the end of it, you and I have another plan.
The last thing I would say, Domina, the last thing I would say, Lady Sister, is that we need the numbers for the moment.
We do.
And I would say that as long as our interests, as long as we have a temporary alignment of mutual interests, we proceed as planned.
Absolutely.
Are you planning on acquiescing long enough to draw this fool in?
Yes.
Then you've answered the last question I have. I know what I need to do. I'm not sleeping tonight, but you should rest deeply. Bar the door behind me, please.
And get some rest. Some.
I will. Thank you. Okay. So, skipping some of the formalities. Corey, for next, what I'll do for the big battle, because I don't imagine Etzli's going to throw herself into stupidity. So Zolan will have grabbed
You may take advantage of the city being gone and do more investigation.
Sure. Yeah,
including where the incident took place.
But since the next set.
Zolan does want to have a conversation with his wife, after seeing the dragon thing.
Okay.
The mask is gone.
We can do that. And make sure, Donnie, just note that on the character sheet somewhere so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. But for the next session, I'm going to have him play basically the best other swordsman in the city that you could find who is still around. That's probably who you'd grab as your second. Because you need somebody that you can fight back to back with, so you don't get swarmed. Okay, so that's going on. So we're skipping ahead some. There would have been some maneuverings. You would have gotten some more. The last kind of reversal or horrific news is that he's not only filling his ranks with the living, but he's also filling his ranks with the dead.
Annoying.
So you still have them outnumbered. But these new troops are going to be rather difficult to put down permanently.
She would spend some solid time meditating on her best plan of action, who to talk to, who to coerce, who to lift up in the coming hours, sitting with her headdress on.
Perfect. Okay. That all makes perfect sense. So you're battle meditationing as well as you possibly can. Yep.
How do I make them bleed the best?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I like that.
Zolan loves this.
Give me a final for this Arcana, and basically you're just shifting your proficiencies around as you need them. So with proficiency, you gotta give me an Arcana check. It's a +4 for her total.
Arcana, yeah. So 12.
12. It's more of an intuitive thing, but for some reason you don't really know or couldn't articulate yet. You feel well shielded for the battle to come, and I'll leave that there. Okay. So you have the envoys go out. How close together are you going to allow when you actually come out? Are we starting the scene in negotiations, or are we starting the scene at warfare?
Negotiations.
We're starting at negotiations. Okay.
Break some bread.
Okay, break some bread. Okay, so you have your battle lines drawn up. Warlord Orin the Undying. You are a little surprised that the high and mighty Uralit are letting you so deep into their precious city.
My precious city.
Now, granted, the place could do for with some upkeep, but
yeah, just a little.
You've only had to get a couple score of zombies. The rest of them are your men. You've had about another 20 Kuind desert and turn on you, or actually desert and come to you. So you have 100. You basically have about 200 defenders right now, which is not as high as it could have been, but also not as low with all the desertions and panic. And you have about 100 Balai. You have about 20 Kuind. And you've got about 40 zombies.
I don't like them.
The zombies.
Zomboys.
The zomboys. There you go. Okay, there we are. There we are.
It's back.
Yep, it's back. Yep, that's inspiration. No, I'm joking. Okay.
You have sex with these things.
So, Orin, you see the picture of Urilit Beauty in front of you, shining with grace, wearing. Make a Arcana check, and you do have a full stats for him. Because I wasn't sure if we were gonna battle tonight. I want to see if he recognizes the significance of what she's wearing is not purely ceremonial.
19.
Okay.
You don't.
The confidence or the arrogance or the whatever of it, to dangle such irresistible ripe fruit under your nose as the headdress of Thalak and the talon of Tezcatli on the slip of a girl's way around her, lashed to her hip, is just amazing. But there's no doubt that you are indeed looking at these mighty artifacts. So you're coming, are you coming bearing anything?
Bread.
You're gonna break, okay.
Okay. It's still in there, thank God.
Fresh bread.
And
Calling for tart.
you get I will allow you, Ocatla, you get the last word.
High priestess Ocatla. It is a privilege. It is an honor. It is he looks you up and down, pleasure to be in your presence.
It is, isn't it? And I hear you want to be in communion, and she gestures to the bread.
I want that desperately. Yes. Yes.
Gross.
Please eat.
But it would be such rude manners for the guest to take of the host's fine meal. Please share of your own bounty before I can be honored to take it from you. I would be remiss. It would be such disrespect.
You would deny a host her bread.
You're insulting me.
Oh, of course I would not want that.
Then eat.
Yes.
And I will eat too.
At the same time, then. Perhaps with a joining of hands.
Perhaps. And she just dangles her hand in the air.
Okay.
And she passes him a piece, and she takes a piece.
You take a symbolic bite. Okay. You eat that. You see the piece of bread that he's eaten.
Is there any indication that this would be any skullduggery?
You're worried about poison?
I'm fully worried about poison.
No, because the Urilit are like infamous. Yeah. They have the upas tree sap that they harvest and refine, which can kill and paralyze your lungs.
And it's also, I guess, not outside the realm of possibility that she could be proof against her own poison.
Arcane powder.
You wouldn't be thinking of it necessarily as ascetiodal, but you do know that people can build up resistances. Yes, and this coterie is powerful. She is the youngest of them, ergo the least of them, and it's amazing to you that like the mighty Okatsan has fallen. But yes, you're very leery. So why don't you make an insight roll, and Ocatla, why don't you make a final deception check for the session?
And I'm going to try and be like, it's really good bread, to give her advantage.
I'm so excited because I'm just like, yeah, you made it. Go, go, go.
Is there any way I could help her with that?
give her a you can go ahead and roll with advantage.
Well, it's a crazy 28. So
Okay.
So like, okay.
it's
No,
just
you do.
nuts.
You did.
See if we get a nat 20. I mean,
See if you get a nat 20.
That's true. That's true.
Nah.
That'd be funny.
What if you're like Nat?
What did you get total?
7.
7? Okay. That's true. This guy's kind of high on his own supply. Okay.
He's a zombie too.
So you realize, yeah, he's a zombie too. You realize as you're looking at him, and he takes you, and he's aware of poison and whatnot. So of course you're eating at the same time, and all of this. You don't think he really knows what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make the reasonable deduction from that he has not been around nearly as many Asciteotl as you have.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're seeing proof of his power. That's indisputable. And it could be a bit frightening too, because necromancy is not really, death taming is something your culture is aware of, but it's actually surprisingly, with all the mummification, it's not really, loved. But he doesn't really seem to know how to guard against you. And so do you exchange breads with each other then? Mm-hmm. Okay. This seems to be going swimmingly.
The first of many meals we'll share together, I'm sure.
All right.
Blink, 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 blink.
You eat and contact, and then you break some bread with this asshole, and that's where we'll end it.
There's one last thing I wanted to do.
Go ahead.
So during this scene, Etzli does want to actually do something pretty risky, but first she wants to either figure out if the gas bomb is usable again or not, if it's like has more than one source, just by when she picks it up at the time. First, I need to know that, because if it does, then that'll work. If not, I want to take something that's Kuan related, a piece of cloth, and I want to have that available. If I can get that, I want to go explore my mistress's priestess room.
Fuck no.
How you lose your mind?
She's just
You were doing this
Basically looking for my wakwa first, other things of interest second, and I want to plant one of those two things depending upon what I'm able to do appropriately.
Write it down, and we'll resolve that next time. Okay. Those are all good moves. Those are all. Good
My love, why would you do this to Zolan?
While all the power players are out. No, that's true.
You are not just doing this for you, you're doing this for us. For the baby.
So write that down so I don't forget it. Well done, y'all. Well done. That was real different from the vibe at the table. I don't know. So Donnie, how did that feel to you? As the first?
I love it.
It's so fun.
Oh my God. Zolan is here.
It is a different.
And he is here to have fun.
It is a different vibe.
With his high priestess.
All right.
So thank you again, Chaos. I appreciate you for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, faraway
need
friends. I hope that the shenanigans of the incipient, that seems to be the word of the evening, incipient court of fangs, was entertaining for you. And next week we will be back. We will resolve the
Titus will
finale.
have a speech impediment.
Titus will have a speech impediment.
Zolan will be back.
And thank you so much for being with us on this journey. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Wow. Thank you.
As you go on about your journey, take care of yourselves and stay curious.
Yay.
Vote.
Vote, yes.
Yes.